When it comes to cleaning a home or office, most people just know the basics. Mopping the floor, wiping off dust and dirt is pretty standard. While all that can make a place look clean, it doesn't mean it is clean. Making a place truly clean and virus-free requires a professional help. That's where the cleaning coach comes in. The cleaning coach provides outstanding general cleaning, commercial cleaning, post-construction cleanup, upholstery cleaning, floor, carpet cleaning, aircon cleaning, and disinfection at a very reasonable price. The cleaning coach and his team will do all the scrubbing, dusting, polishing, disinfecting, and sanitizing, so you won't have to. Making your place look clean that you can also smell and feel. You will experience the difference. Now that's stress-free cleaning to a better normal, done professionally by the cleaning coach. Contact the cleaning coach today to learn more.
Okay, hi everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Navs Effect podcast. This was a must-record episode, I would say, as we are about to begin the UAAP season. UAAP season 86 tips off September 30, Saturday at the MOA Arena, starting with UE versus UST. That's at 2 p.m. and we are recording this Wednesday, September 27, Wednesday night. I'm joined by Nico Rocha, a familiar guest of the show, also the host of his own six-man podcast, another college basketball aficionado like I am, that many of you listeners are 1,000%. This is kind of a new feeling, no, Nico? It's still a little strange to me, and this just hit me now, given that we started recording. So, before the pandemic, every year we're used to, okay, this time of the year, that's UAAP, right? September to December. And that only began 2015. So the OG UAAP fans know that even before that, the season would be like end of June, opening July to like, if I'm not mistaken, the September range, right? But because of the academic shift, it changed. So that was tuloy-tuloy every season. There was like a constant. And then we get to the pandemic, no UAAP for 2 years, 2020, 2021, right? But then everything was happening. So
Bilis, no?
yeah, bilis.
Bilis
Yeah.
rin.
Bilis, for sure. So everything's happening. That's why it's kind of like in the back of our minds because there are more important things to deal with. And then 2022 arrives, and then we have 2 seasons in 1 year, 84 and 85. That's where all the shortest ever championship reign for UP jokes come in
Yeah,
that
okay.
people love to use. But then we had 2 seasons in 1 year, 84 and 85. And then this year, it's kind of going back to normal. But then after having no UAAP for so long, and then after having so much UAP in 1 year, and then thank God for off-season tournaments like Pinoy Liga, Philoil, everything that we work with, because that allows us to keep up with college action. But then now the UAP is back after a long wait. So it was just an interesting observation I had. And I guess now we can say it's kind of going back to normal because the calendar is fixing itself.
Yeah, and actually so I started my podcast I think mga December na. So I didn't get to have this as well, right? That's why we have this feeling that it's different because saan tayo nakakita masyado ng podcast that mostly focuses on UAAP or collegiate basketball, right? So that's why for me, in a way, may pagka-pioneer in doing this. I mean, some podcasts have been doing this in passing, but tayo kasi as in talagang die-hard UAAP fans eh. So hopefully we do it justice in this episode. And hopefully wala tayo masyado makaaway.
Okay, so we would like to do a UAP season preview podcast episode. We are going to focus on the men's basketball side of things because that's that's the league that we have covered the most, and we covered particularly while we were in broadcast for Pinoy Liga during the off-season. But I do have to say that it was a commendable job by the league because Wednesday, the press conference happened this morning at MOA Arena. And I have to say that it was a commendable job by the league, spearheaded by the new committee of Mr. Nunag and Mariana Lopa. They included the women's basketball coaches and players in the press conference.
Yeah, nakakatawa nga eh. When I saw it, it's
Yes.
like, oh, nice.
Yes, which is giving the right amount of exposure to women's basketball. To add to that too, all women's basketball games will be broadcasted, if I heard correctly earlier from the press conference, which I believe I did, that games will be broadcasted on Pilipinas Live, on One Sports, Varsity Channel. So great for women's basketball, great for the coaches to be put on the spotlight earlier. And of course, in that regard, the team to beat is still NU, National University, the most dominant basketball dynasty in the
How
UAAP.
many years? Wala, is a, they've been
They've
dominating for years.
yes, yes. In fact, their winning streak, I'd have to double check if I'm getting this right, but I think it was 108, was snapped by De La Salle last season.
Yeah,
And I remember
it's
that
last year
being
nga.
a major happening. But good for the sport. Let's see how much more it will grow. Also, of course, Coach Cholo Villanueva is coaching La Salle's women's basketball team, and he is a talented coach on the rise. Now, men's basketball side of things, Nico, my main sentiment hasn't changed where I believe that UP, LaSalle, Ateneo, and National
Okay.
University, not exactly in that order. I believe these are the four teams that have separated themselves from the other squads. So we're gonna go by each team one by one quickly, of course, as we
Game.
preview them. But overall, I just think there are two tiers right now. There are actually maybe three. Sorry, there are three. So there are the top four, and yes, I know NU people like perceiving them as a dark horse contender because of their status, right? As national university, not usually included in the conversations of the big three per se. But I think they have good a shot as any of the other three other teams that are being discussed of winning the championship. And we saw proof of that in the off season where they performed really well in Pinoy Liga and then also in Phil Oil. I'm not sure how far they got. They won Phil Oil the year before last year. They made it to the finals of Pinoy Liga this year. And they're a team to watch out for. Now, the second tier, I would say, I would put Adamson there. I would also put FEU there. No, I would only put Adamson there, actually. Adamson, a Final Four team last season.
So they're in a
That,
tier of their own.
yes, yes, actually, yes, yes. Now that I think about it properly, they're on a tier of their own. Made the Final Four last year. And maybe we're not sure if they're championship contender,
You can
but
put
they
FEU
can.
there. I feel so. In the second tier, kaya.
I would put FEU in the third tier with UST and
Really?
UE. Yeah,
Hmm.
I would
Okay.
say like
Okay.
I would classify those as rebuilding teams with a few talented players na we know for a fact at this point that they're good, right?
Okay.
Because
Sige.
we'll go at it one by one. So let's who
Yeah.
do you want to start with? Then share your thoughts about the team from any of
We
the
can
eight.
we can start from the third tier.
Mm,
So
okay.
we didn't mean that by it's more of ito yung parang we can classify the third tier as rebuilding teams or unknown teams. So we can start off with the UST Growling Tigers. Why? Because we really don't know anything about them. What I mean by that is yeah, we know about the roster, but have we seen them in actual games? No. We cannot find any clips. We didn't see them in Pinoy Liga. We didn't see them in Phil Oil. The most that we can get lang from UST is if you ask any of the I saw that they had a tune-up with CEU, Scorpion. So yun yung best way na lang siguro to get a vibe of how UST is. Yung best to contact their players and be like, bro, ano, kamusta UST? Yun lang talaga eh. Puro hearsay lang talaga. Or you gotta be there
Tama.
for their
Alam
tune-up
lang,
games.
the only thing we know for sure is that they're all going to come in with identical hairstyles. Diba? That's what we
Uy,
own.
nakita ko si, si Faye, hindi pa nagpapakalbo.
Actually, that
Hindi
is
pa
a
siya
good question.
nagpapakalbo.
I noticed that as well in the team picture. He's the only one who still has his, I believe, dreads. I think he
Sa group
sports
chat
dread.
natin yun, di ba? Yung
Yes,
nag-share nun.
yes,
Tapos
yes,
sabi ko,
yes,
wait,
yes.
di ba nagpapakalbo ah?
No, I also should say I apologize, but I should also have said another thing for sure we know is Nick Cabanero is going to ball out. Now,
For sure.
this is a big season for Nick because there wasn't legit interest, but there was preliminary interest last season from Asian teams about him. He did not attend the recent workouts when we had Korean scouts in town. I
Yeah.
believe because at that point he was committed to UST. But this one I can tell you for sure. If Nick plays well this coming season, then that leads to three possible opportunities. Number one is he gets an offer to play for an Asian team,
Okay.
which I feel is possible given how you take what you already did last season and then you add perhaps one more year of experience and practices there. He's going to get only better. And I think he has a better coach now too who will recognize that he is the best player on the team. Number two, Could he potentially join the PBA draft? I don't know if that's what's going to happen, but I wouldn't rule it out of the picture for sure because
Okay.
I mean, look at the some of the second and third round draft picks we had in the recent draft. I think Cabanero
First
could be
rounder si Nick. First rounder si Nick. Feel ko ako
it
lang yun I feel like
it
Nick is, depende how he plays this season, di
depende.
ba?
And the
Oh.
combine and everything before the
Madami,
draft.
madami.
Yeah. Now that's the second option. The third option naman is he comes back to UST and UST is expected to have a better roster in season 87 and season 86 with guys like for oops, never mind. Hindi pa
Oh, oy.
official.
Oy. Wait, di ba
Uh,
ba official yun? Hindi pa official. Wala idea pa nga pala official. Okay, okay.
let's just say in the words come I forgot the name of the character, but
Si ano,
it's a great show, Billions. Let's just say I am not uncertain that Fordsky Padragal might play for UST. But we also have to mention Kyle Paranada coming in. And with UST, there are more recruits always with that backing they have now potentially in the horizon. So I think next year's roster would be really good too. And
you
if
think he
Nick
might stay,
does,
no? Parang ma-encourage siya, parang okay, I have these pieces coming in. Should I give it one
yes,
more may ganun siya, magkakaganon siya. He knows that this is a
yes,
champion point guard coming in.
mm-mm.
Paranadas, technically, I feel like Kyle Paranada is a 2. Yung laro niya.
You
Parang
can
siyang 2
play
guard eh.
you can play Fortsky and Paranada together. They
Yeah,
would mesh
you
well
can.
with each
Yeah.
other. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
They will. Feel ko hindi sila magka-clash.
like just imagine Fortsky, Kyle, and Cabanero running on the break. Like a 3-on-2 fast break.
Kakatakot yun.
Right? Right? And then Kyle and Fortsky could spread the floor pa if Nick is bringing it down the court top of the key. You have those two guys who can spread the floor or cut. And then you have a wing with all that. So the point of all of this is it would be enticing for Nick to come back in 87.
Yeah.
But first, of course,
There.
let's see how he performs in 86. Because if he
For
performs really
sure.
well, let's say Mythical 5, which, I mean, I'm not, are you familiar with the UAAP statistical point formula?
Yeah. Yeah. I have
Right.
it actually here on
Yes.
my laptop
It,
right now.
right, right. So let's educate some of the listeners who might not know. If I'm not mistaken, it's points plus rebounds plus assists plus steals plus blocks. And then there are bonus points for each game won, minus points for unsportsmanlike and technical fouls.
Mm-hmm.
And then you divide all, I'm not sure if there's a multiplication there somewhere, but you divide all those numbers, minus turnovers as well. You divide all those numbers divided by games played. Am I right?
Yeah. Alam ko, Rappler shared the formula for that. Not sure kung ikaw pa kayo nag-share nun eh. Kasi, kasi parang ine-explain, it was explaining there on, I think,
right.
why Fortsky's number 2, why Shawnee's number 1. At the time, nag-third pa nga si Malik and then
Yeah.
Shawnee went down. People are like, oh, ba't siya bumaba? And then, I
Yeah.
think that article explained the
Yeah.
computation.
And with all due respect to Malik, who is an MVP caliber player, I think Shawnee was on his way to deservingly winning
Oh, yeah,
that
yeah.
MVP before the injury. But we do have to take note that injuries are part of the game. And just because someone's injured, that does not mean whoever won the MVP isn't MVP worthy. But
Yeah, for
Shawnee, and this is, by the way, Shawnee dropped 27 in a tune-up game against against KBL team in Converge's tune-up recently. I mean, how that
Grabe.
guy goes to number 9 in the first round, I have an idea why. But
We have an idea. We have an idea.
we have an idea. But
Yeah.
just from a basketball perspective, I can tell you this though. And sorry to get sidetracked. I know we're talking about USD, but I can tell you this though. When I was talking to someone from Converge while the draft was happening, and as Shawnee kept falling, this guy told me, wow, this is actually going to happen. Because the day before that, he's like, if by some chance Shawnee drops to 9, we are going to take him for sure. And it actually happened. So that's manifesting possibilities. But back to USD. Let's say Nick has a Mythical 5 season, Nico.
Mhm.
That would entice a possible offer and a big offer at that, from an Asian team.
Yeah, and mahirap tanggihin yung pera eh. I mean, 'di ba? You'll never know. I mean, knock on wood, if an injury may come, and then maparegret ka na lang. Parang, oh, sayang.
Yeah.
So those thoughts will definitely enter his head. And my team yan. Or at least his
Yes.
family will consult him na, pag-isipan natin to, what's the best course of
Mm-mm.
action. And let's not forget that SMCs with UST already. They will definitely ask Nick, feel ko, na nung offer sa'yo, kaya ba namin, I'm sure there are gonna be talks like that behind the scenes. Since that's their star player, definitely. Aside
Yeah.
from Adama Faye.
Yes, and he would be, at the least, if he joins the PBA draft, back to the connection you mentioned, he would be drafted by Northport, I
Oh,
think, if
for sure.
for sure, for a certainty, right?
Northport
Give,
easy.
yeah, given how
Unless may
Northport
kukuha.
drafted.
At,
Unless, I
unless
mean,
sobrang galing niya, first
I
pick,
mean,
di ba?
if magpa-PBA siya, chances are na he would be good enough na another team would want him, di ba?
Ganun eh.
Like, di ba? NLEX would probably want him. I mean, I'm just guessing here, not reporting that. But anyway, so that's why I think that if Nick has a great season, sobrang win-win-win ang situation. You know, you have many options there. And even if you do come back to UST 1 year, you make the Final Four, then you go pro after that. Oh, that improves your stock 1,000%,
Wild nun, no?
right?
Imagine
Yeah,
mag-final for UST.
yeah.
Parang, huh?
And I can tell you from experience na pro teams take stock not only on your stats but also on your stats when you play when there are pressure in games. They take
Oh,
note of that.
yes.
That is as legit as it gets. And also I should say Nick is represented by Virtual Playground, Charlie D, who has experience, steering his players towards where to go in the pro level. So excited for what comes next for Nick. Who do you want to talk next about, Nico?
Before we move on to the next school, I mean, SJ Moore, a guy
Mm. Mm.
I can't wait to see how he plays in the UAAP. NCAA juniors, it's different, diba? It's not much people who can stop him there. So in the UAAP seniors, let's see how he will transition his game. He's like a mini LeBron Lopez, right? Mini Francis Lopez, in a way,
I
right? With their slashing ability, at least. Because Francis is a solid 6'5", 6'6". SJ is what, 6'1", 6'2".
I
So
think
he's good.
I think SJ would be my top choice right now for Rookie of the Year.
Wow. Okay. I thought we're gonna get there
So,
later, pero sige.
okay,
I have my own.
I'll explain later. I mean, it's
Sige, later.
between. Yeah, okay, later. Sige. So,
Sige.
which school? Pick the next school.
Let's do UE. UE
Oh,
next.
can I just add? Sorry, I know we keep adding. Nick
Oh, no
Cabanero,
problem.
baka Gilas, possible in the future. Like one of those
Ooh.
other. I mean, just saying. Like, hopefully, like, I know for a fact he would be open to Gilas. I know that for a fact. Okay, next go.
Daming factors to get in there, but that's another ano. Oy, pero SMC ang ano ngayon, di ba? Gilas. So.
Well,
connect lang. Anyway,
well.
pwede. Anyway, UE. So let me start off with UE. I am a I think Remo Goat. We all know the moniker. Hey, can we tell Kurt to put that in a shirt sa varsity? Remo Goat. I feel like that would sell regardless if UE supporter ka o hindi. Kasi such a great moniker. We have seen what he did with Ateneo and LaSalle in their last two games. And this summer, grabe Nav, every time he's on the floor, easy 20 points for Noy.
Yes.
And yung confidence niya sa sky high. I remember him telling me in passing na sinabi na talaga ni Coach Jack na, Noy, the team is yours. After knowing that umalis na si Gani, wala na si Luis, Paranada Bros are out of UE as well. It really became Remogat's team. And kitang-kita sa nung summer games, sa lahat ng sinalihan nila.
Correct. And, my mind is like whirling about UE now because there's a few developments there. But back to your original point first about Remogat.
Yeah, Remogat. The clear
He is good. He has jump shooting, can create for others, can push on the break. He's the kind of guard that Coach Jack Santiago can work well with, because you have to take into account Coach Jack goes back to the days of Franz Pomaren. They had a lot of guards in LaSalle always. We don't need to get into the names. But you know what? Let's get into the names because I'm feeling a little nostalgic. Ritualo, Cortez.
Dami.
Mike Cortez, by the way, broadcaster this season for the UAP
Magpapanel
games.
ata siya eh. Tyler
Yes.
Tio as well, Coach Norman Black. Ikaw ba
Yes.
nag-report nun na naman? I think I read that somewhere. Ikaw ba nagsabi?
Yeah, I tweeted
It's you,
it.
right? Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was announced by the Signal, of course, today, but then
I didn't see
I tweeted it.
Sa'yo ko na nakita.
Appreciate that.
I don't check X. I just check the group chat to see what's
the group chat, by the way, for anyone who's curious why we keep saying group chat, that is
it's actually open as long as you're wala ka lang mabangga.
As long as wala kang masagasaan.
Mga inside jokes natin. People will can relate to that. Basta makasali ka sa group chat. It's open to the public as long as, you're level-headed with your conversations. Wala
As
kang
long,
aawayin.
as long, okay. If I start making jokes, I won't stop and I'm gonna get into trouble. So I'm not.
But
But
yeah,
yeah,
message yun lang si Nav. I think he's really open to letting people inside there as long as he gets like a quick background check on you. I
yeah,
think
that.
okay ka na. It's
Oh
just
my.
pure sports.
Okay, I don't. I think I need to stop drinking wine when we record. I'm making all these jokes that are not good for. No, appreciate you, Nico. Where were we? So UE, Coach
Ah,
Jack. So
yeah. Coach Jack, Coach
sanay,
Jack.
sanay siya. We're backtracking here. So sanay siya with good guards back from the days of Coach France. He did a good job with Kyle Paranada last season. I think Remogat is next in line. One concern ko lang with Ray, not naman concern, but a few times in the preseason he got hurt because parang ang heavy ng workload niya. But then of
Heavy
course,
talaga.
yes, at that point UE didn't have their new recruits yet, and then they also lost some of their players from last season. In many ways, and ideally UE won 4 games last season, if I'm not mistaken, 4 or 5.
Could have won more. They could
Yeah,
have
yeah,
won
yeah, yeah.
more. I feel so.
But they were pretty good. I mean, not pretty good, but they were better than people expected. So the next step logically would be to go up a level, right? Maybe win 6 or 7 games, maybe get a play in for the final four, or maybe an outside chance at the final four. But this is not a whole new team, but a pretty new team if you think about it, and a pretty young team. So they have Remogat, who is only in his second season too. So of course, and this is really the first season he's going to be like the main guy carrying the workload with the ball in his hands. So let's see how he adjusts to that. Not saying that he can't, but of course it's still a test for any player in this level. And then they don't have Villegas. They don't have Stevens. Stevens was playing really well towards the end of last season. Villegas was an MVP candidate that only ended up number 5 or 6 in the race because his team didn't get enough bonus points to
Oh,
get him
sayang.
up in this. But then if he was playing for a contending team, he would have been an MVP contender as well. Now, they also lost to Parnada Bros. So the new guys coming in, okay. John Abate, the son of former PBA All-Star John Arrigo. He was at UST first, didn't mesh well with the team, went to UE. How's he gonna do? We know naman Phil Am sometimes that need some time to get used to the style of basketball here, particularly in college basketball with the UAAP. You have Dumont Cruz, I should
Hey,
say.
solid siya. I like him.
Yeah, he can
Played
shoot.
okay. Yeah.
Exactly. We have
3-and-D nila.
Ethan Galang, another 3-and-D kind of player that they have. And they have Gerard Wilson, who first committed to UST.
Yeah, you see a trend here? You see a trend here? What's up?
Gerard, it's been said that Gerard wasn't a fan of some of the hair rules of the team. But he's now at UE, and how well will he play right away? So there are some Phil Am recruits at UE. How well they can play right away to the Philippine style will determine how far UE gets. Because I think if UE starts the season like 1-4 or 2-5, they might have a hard time making the final four eventually. But
Host
if
pa naman
they
sila.
yes, but if they can stay like 500, like 3-4 or even maybe 4-3 at the end of the first round, and then their Philam start getting used to the play style here, then maybe they can go on a run. But I rank them probably
Yeah,
somewhere in the 6 to 8 range.
6 to 8 range.
Somewhere in
Okay.
the 6 to 8 range.
Same.
And I have one question: who's going to be the foreign student athlete? Because
Yeah, I have another question. Where is he? Where's Delvion Jackson? He's not in the photos. Wala siya dun sa publication or dun sa pages ng One Sports or UAP
right,
Varsity Channel. Si Precious yung nandun eh.
precious.
Sabi
So
ko,
and Delvion is supposed to be a one and done foreign student athlete type who can score and can rebound. And we've seen him play well in the offseason. Precious is a little younger, needs a little more polishing, but he's long, he can rebound. I've seen him train with Phenom Clinic by Coach Brody. So who's going to be the foreign student athlete? And I think that's what's going to really determine things for UE, because that's been one area of theirs that hasn't been so strong. They didn't have a foreign student athlete last season,
wala no,
and
imagine.
they needed paint presence. So who's it gonna be?
Is Charles Mami still available? Kidding aside, for me, the best, I think we know this quote, the best ability is availability. So
Yeah.
I'm riding with Precious. And kasi Delvian Jackson kasi, daming times na naparod ko siya unintentionally live na dami kong beses na aabutan yung UE. And si Delvion kasi, great rebounder, yeah. Pero yung sakit niya, he tends to force shots, man. If you check his field oil percentages, yung field goal niya, I think it's at
Mm-mm.
26, 27. And I'm not kidding, it's really low. And minsan nagsasapawan sila ni Noy with regards to the shots. Yung kay Noy, it looks more natural within the flow of the offense. Kay Delvion, di ko alam yung gagawin niya. Parang, alam mo yung, kala mo mag-handoff siya
Mm.
sa top of the key, biglang pupull-ups, oh! Ako para, oh! Ano yun? Tapos you check his field goals, my goodness, 3 for 17. So yun yung ano niya, I'm not attacking him personally, it's just, these are all numbers and all basketball and all tendencies. And I feel like if Precious is the guy that's just willing to do his role, to rebound, to block, take the shots that's for you, I feel like in the long run, I'll choose you. Kasi ako di ko rin, ikaw na, do you know where Delvion is? You should have something. But ako wala. I don't know. Even, I spoke with Noy, sabi niya, inihintay pa namin siya kuya.
Oh, so
So,
that I
and
well
that was
I'm
2 weeks ago. That was 2 weeks ago when I messaged him.
right. So I know a little bit about it, but right now I'm not sure
Yung
if
pwede mo lang sabihin. Pwede mo lang sabihin. Yeah. Or
pwede ko
whatever. Yeah, I'm not
but
forcing you. Sabi ko
no
lang
no no
yung
no I get you, yeah. So pwede
mahirap
ko
madali tayong dalawa eh.
pwede ko sabihin Delvion had some challenges when he got to the Philippines, not related to UE, of course.
Okay.
Some like he
Hey
got
man, it's a tough place to live here. It's really tough.
well, like he got sick at one point, so he got sick and he ended up losing a lot of his weight. And he came in as like above 200 pounds, big guy, 6'8",
Dude, he
six
still
foot
looks
nine.
chiseled. He still looks chiseled.
Yes, yes. But he got sick, I believe, and then of course he also okay. I won't get into the other stuff just because
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. But he got sick, didn't get a lot of playing time right away to get used to the style of the team because he was recovering, and then he wasn't able to make it to the out of town trip. UE went to Taiwan, if I'm not mistaken, recently during the off
He was there,
season.
no? Yung Taiwan, alam ko
He
nandun.
I
Wala
don't
siya dun.
think he was in Taiwan. Yeah.
Ah,
So
for
I should probably ask for more clarity from the team. We'll know more definitely when the season. That's why it's also so interesting that they haven't released at least while we're recording this
wala
Wednesday
pa yung
night.
rosters, di ba?
Rosters have not been
Wala pa.
released, and a lot of people have been wondering. They've been asking as early as 1 month ago where are the teams, where are the rosters, who's going to play
Kailan ba
for what.
deadline of? When was the
I
deadline
don't
for
know,
the
to
teams?
be
You don't know.
honest. I wish I knew at this point, but I don't know. Even the official schedule isn't out yet. Like if I'm not mistaken, Nico, no one's posted like an official schedule posted by the league yet.
Yung alam
Diba?
lang natin yun this weekend eh. Saturday, Sunday lang yung alam ko eh. So, okay.
Yes, yes, yes. I did post a copy of the schedule that I was fortunate enough to be able to receive, but it wasn't confirmed. So I'm guessing like that schedule at this point is probably confirmed, and they're just not officially posting it yet, or who knows, maybe there will be a change.
Gulat nga ako may UST eh. Di ba? Yung
Mm.
pavilion, quad pavilion nila.
And UST isn't playing in their home court, which
Yeah,
makes
hindi.
some sense if you think about it, because then they would be the only team with like a home court advantage, I guess, this season if
That
that
makes sense. Oo
happens.
nga, no? Parang in a way,
Diba? Yeah.
disadvantage considering
Yes.
dapat level playing field.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah, my thoughts exactly too. Na parang maybe that's why they're not playing, because then they would be the only team this season with like a home court advantage of sorts,
Yeah.
no? But I'm just guessing at this point. Anyway, a lot happening.
Yeah,
Let's
UE.
see.
That's UE.
By the time people are listening to this podcast, who knows? Maybe the schedule and the rosters are out na. Okay,
Well,
who do
we
you...
plan to release this ASAP kasi ano eh, hahabol tayo sa ano eh.
Yes. Well, that's for sure. So,
Mm-mm.
Jason, if you're listening, you know what to do,
Please.
bro. Probably, hopefully, this is out by Thursday. Anyway, so we're done talking about UE now. I have them in that 6 to 8 range.
Yeah.
How about you?
Next one, let's talk. Are you asking me where they might end up? Yun nga,
Actually, you
6
know
to
what?
8 range, nasa
Okay,
same
okay.
tayo. I feel like they're 7. The lowest they could
Yes.
be is 7, highest is 5.
Okay, yeah, five. Yeah, I would say so
Highest.
too. And also, you know, five would be some kind of an accomplishment this season too, if it does happen.
Well, you never
Next,
know about those films, man. Diba? Kung
ne-
saan saan na lang. Ang galing mag-recruit ni Coach Jack, ah.
yes,
Eh,
yes.
so-
Coach,
so- the-
when it comes to recruitment, Coach Jack knows what he's doing. I would say that.
I mean, after Coach Tab sa Phil sees the next Phil whisperer. Okay, next
Maybe.
one. FEU. Let's talk about FEU.
Okay, FEU. So they're
Did LJ
probably
Gonzalez play a lot
they're
of? I didn't see him play, man. Summer LJ.
yeah, I'm not sure. Was he there during the press con earlier?
He was. Oh,
He
di ko
was.
alam. I wasn't there.
Yeah, well, FEU's the team that I would say have a few questions about entering the
Okay.
season, just because it feels like there was a lot of change that happened, but in classic FEU style, it's been quiet. They've always been the kind of college basketball program where they stick to them, even with the recruits, so they elevate from the high
At
school
walang
ranks. They bring,
lumalabas. Walang
yeah,
lumalabas. Which is great.
yes. To some degree, yeah, it can help
Hmm.
teams pag walang lumalabas, right? So this I know, Cholo Ano Nuevo is going to play a big role this season based on what we
For
saw in the
sure.
preseason. They did join a few preseason leagues. Sulit, they joined Pinoy Liga, they joined Philoil,
Lahat ata.
they lahat they joined they joined Phil Basket. But
Lahat.
at least what we saw is the team in Phil Basket looked improved compared to the team that was in Phil Oil and Pinoy Liga, because when that
Trending up
start
sila eh. Maganda yung
yes,
pinakit.
exactly. And when it started, the Pinoy Liga and Philo, that was when Coach Denok just got into the team, started implementing his system, and then you saw them improve. So is that going to make them improve enough to the point where they're now a Final Four contender? That's a question. I did ask athletic director Mark Molina earlier how he feels about the team, and he kept the answer short and simple. He said good, and it was like a confident good na the
Good.
team. Good,
Typical FEU.
we're good.
Skip it. Okay na.
Exactly. I do know Cyrus Torres, Patrick Sleet, Cholo Nuevo will play important roles.
As always.
Cyrus Torres, we know he's a good shooter. Consistency is the question. Patrick Sleet, I think, is maybe the best player in the team. It's either him or Ano Nuevo, but I would say Sleet because I like Sleet's
Yeah.
craftiness when he penetrates and goes for layups, especially in fast breaks. Ano Nuevo's good also. Let's see about the consistency. Muhammad Fati is one of the questions, the foreign student athlete spot, because he's big, and if
Like big. He's big.
he's tall and wide, he's big. The question is, can he move his feet laterally quick enough to avoid being in foul trouble? Because he was in foul trouble a lot during the offseason, and a lot of that was because he was having a hard time guarding pick and roll because he doesn't move his feet laterally so quickly, probably because he's also big, right? So he's not, because there was one game kalaban nila UP FEU and Malik was just rolling to the rim.
Pinoy Liga ba to?
Pinoy
Or
Liga,
Philoil?
yes.
Pinoy Liga ata to eh.
I think we call this together if
Tayo
I'm
yun
not
eh. Kasi sabi,
mistaken.
kapag
As in,
familiar to ah.
that was when Malik had like 8 or 10 points in the first quarter, and then Fatty was in foul trouble. But when he stays out of foul trouble, they're good. And si Luke Felipe is a rookie to watch out for. Another one from
Legit
the
si Luke
FEU
Felipe.
high school program, yeah.
So yun, FEU. I mean, si LJ actually, not much to question about LJ. We already know what he can do. So, ang question ko lang is yung rust. Will it get to him? Or, I don't know. Was he injured, Nav? Or they're just resting him? Ano ba yung...
I'm not sure, to be honest, also. But we didn't see a lot of him during the off season.
We didn't see him. I didn't see him suit up.
Last season though, he was battling injuries. As
So
in,
talaga siguro this is the time to pahinga muna and everything. Pwede.
perhaps.
Pwede.
Or maybe he was deciding his future, who knows? Because don't forget, when there was a change in the coaching staff of FE from Coach Olsen to Coach Denok, there were also questions if the players would stay or would they go, right? Now, I never really verified this. Basically, this wasn't confirmed, but this wasn't denied also. I heard that Cholo Nuevo might have transferred to Adamson during the offseason. I didn't get to ask Cholo yet, to be fair, if confirmed ba siya or not. But some people told me it would happen, although it wasn't oy, that's gonna happen for sure. It was kind of like just, whispers and whatnot.
Kala ko
I'm not
magkaka-exodus eh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Merong
That
fear of an exodus.
exactly,
Although a fear,
exactly,
a fear.
exactly.
Si
Patrick
Sahonya lang
Sleet,
ata umalis eh. Sahonya lang, right?
yes.
It's just Brian Sahonya.
Patrick Sleet also, there were some people thinking if aalis siya, if he would transfer, but he ended up saying that he was staying with FEU right away also. So who knows? I mean,
Mm.
in classic FEU fashion, they keep things in-house. They're able to, you know, keep their own players into the senior level. And then they're still going to be competing. They won't win a lot of games, but they also won't lose a lot of games. Is what I can say about FEU. I think they're either 6-8 or 7-7. That's where I have them.
Mm. Yeah, actually, pwede yun. Pwede. Alam mo yung last year kasi they were yung opening skid nila. I think that doon sila nasira eh.
Yeah,
Doon
yeah,
nasira yung momentum nila. Nagka-pressure sa early on in the season. They played catch up and just bit
yeah.
them in the end. So hopefully that what they're trying to avoid.
And
So that's for
FE
FEU.
and si LJ got hurt in the first game of last season against Ateneo.
Ateneo, ano bang
Yeah. There,
na-publicize ba yun yung kung anong injury yun? Or
no,
parang
hindi. Because
nilaban niya yun eh. Alam ko nilaro niya yung game na yun eh.
yes, he kept playing not only that game but even the games to follow. But I
Ah,
saw him
hindi
in the
na
second
ano.
half stretching out his hamstring. Think he pulled it. Then he played through it in at least the next few games. So maybe if things are healthier this season, things would break their way, right? But I have them in that range that I mentioned. Do you think they're a Final Four contender?
I mean, may chance, pero mababa. Everything has to go great. I mean, LJ has to play at an MVP. Ito yung mga ano, LJ has to play at an MVP level. Ano Nuevo needs to be a mythical 5 level type of production, and Mo Fati just needs to stay on the court and have soft hands. Yung problema rin kasi with Mo Fati, napansin natin, nahirapan siya. Like,
Mm-mm.
at least to catch the ball.
Mm-mm.
You just give
Mm-mm.
him a hard defense. Nahihirapan siya eh. So, and parang when he gets to the pin, you would think na automatic na, but he's still working on his touch. So a lot
Correct.
of factors they have to play, at least those three players have to play at an elite level.
Right. Right.
Or the two have to play at elite level, Fatih has to play at a average level. Tipong ganun.
Correct.
To reach the
Correct.
Final Four.
He needs to stay out of foul trouble. If he does that, and he
Yun
can stay
din.
on the court. Because if he stays in the court, he's a big man. He can get rebounds, outlet
Hard to
pass.
penetrate.
You have all these guys running on the break. Exactly. Okay, next team. Let's go to Adamson.
Yeah, Adamson na nga next ko. So Adamson,
Biggest question. You and I both know it. Jerome
single eh.
Lastimosas.
Single eh. Single. Di ba nakita?
You know what? Every time Jerome Lastimosa is near you, at some point tatawa ka. I mean, that's just a given. He does like the most random things. Like earlier during sige, kukwento ko na. Sorry, Jerome. But during the press conference, at a certain point, he opened his phone, he loaded up NBA 2K, tapos naglaro na lang siya. While all the Q&As were going on. And then, as in sobrang into the game siya, it was like he was playing a UAP game with Adamson, like competitive. It was funny,
Locked in
but
siya siguro eh.
locked in, super locked in. And then, we did ask him, the media asked him after the game, the press conference.
After,
After the game,
inintay
actually.
muna siya matapos eh.
um, the media asked, so what's the status on your injury? I asked, how's the knee? Of course, that's when the joke happened. I asked him, so ano status mo? Meaning what I was referring to the injury, right? And he thought, status single, but he was joking. But he did answer na he doesn't know for sure when he's coming back. He did not confirm the diagnosis of the injury. What I heard was it was a partial torn ACL from a source of about a week ago. And he did say that he was aiming to come back in the first round. Now, just because that's the goal of his doesn't mean it's gonna happen for sure because it still needs medical clearance. That should be worth noting. And he did say now one thing I can say for sure, and he said this in Tagalog, is babalik ako. He said that he's coming
Yeah.
back for sure. So I know that people have reacted to the news online asking, okay, is it worth it for Jerome to come back and force this season even if he has an injury? Is it worth it for Adamson to let him play considering what's at stake with his future? Because it's worth noting that he has a possible big contract somewhere. Where that is, we don't know yet. But all I can say is he just loves that school so much, Nico. He loves it so much. It was
Ako
one
ah,
of it was one of the reasons why he couldn't go pro right away after last season. Part of him really wanted to come back. And of course, I'm sure there were other parts too that factored into his decision. But he loves that school and he wants to play for that school in his final season. And ultimately, I guess it's the player's choice if they want to play or not. Of course, sometimes that's their conversations with other people with the decision process of that. But I think that's Jerome's decision. He wants to play. He seems passionate about that.
ako lang I'll play the devil's advocate here. If they don't have a good record after the first round, wag na siya bumalik.
Mm,
Wag na siya
very
bumalik.
good point. Yeah. I
Wag
mean,
na.
knowing how
Sayang eh.
competitive he is, though, if
I
they
care
get
about his career.
yeah, but knowing about how competitive he is, if they start 0-3, he might say, sige, babalik na ako, I'll come back even sooner. And that would be scary. But again, of course, that will probably not happen unless there's doctor clearance. But I'm sure that's what he
Yeah.
would probably feel, na gusto niya na bumalik. But,
Mm. Yan yung something to note for
yeah,
Adamson. That's gonna be the storyline for them.
yeah,
Yung health
yeah.
niya.
And at
It's a
what,
fine line. Mahirap eh. I mean, iba pa rin yung the fire of an athlete.
and also
Who,
we have to take note that if he does come back, and I'm not saying that he's not going to be good, he's still going to find different ways to be effective. But if he does come back with a partial torn ACL, can he do the same moves? Can he score the same way that we've
yun
seen?
din.
Because he's the kind of player who likes to maneuver around, pick and roll, diba? Left, snake the pick, go right,
It's his speed.
sidestep,
What
speed, yeah,
separates himself. Yeah, speed and yung
yeah,
deceptiveness ng moves niya.
craftiness. See,
He needs that.
that's why I think
Who,
even if he's injured, he can still be an effective scorer kasi matalino siya maglaro. He knows when
matalino
to
siya
pull up,
maglaro.
he knows when to floater, he knows when to drive. But will he be at 100%? I don't think he'll be at 100% if he's going to play through a partial torn ACL.
Same. Kaya for me, I rather rest you. Rather rest you. I rather have you, Jerome, rest your knee. Kasi ano
Mm,
eh, there's still a lot of basketball ahead of you. Kita na I saw what you did in Gilas sa SEA Games. In the times na nilaro ka ni Coach Shot, kita mo yung potential niya eh.
correct.
As the floor spacer and the what do you call this, the floor general for Gilas in the future. So that's just me. I mean, like
Right. Right. No,
I just care about his career. I like to see him in the national team.
totally get you. And I think he has a future with the national team. Let's see how the rest of the season goes. We also have to take
One
note.
last.
Go for it. Go for it.
Matthew Montebon, at least Nav,
Mm,
if we don't see, we're not gonna see, tawag dito, Jerome in the start, diba? Kasi obviously, he's healing it. Si Matthew Montebon yung gusto ko abangan kasi he played really well ng Philoy. Like, I remember his game winner against Ateneo as well. And
right.
grabe yun. Sabi ko, this Montebon kid is really good. I feel like he could surprise us and could be in the Rookie of the Year conversation as well. To end my Adamson spiel.
Nico, what's a crazy thought I just had. And by the way, that's one player I think to watch out for. Another guy
Mm.
I want to watch out for is Magbuhos. Both the
Oh, yeah, Vince.
yeah, Vince in particular. I think he could have a big season this year. He showed some good floor spreading potential last season. Eli Ramos, another name to watch out for. Joshua Yero, another guy I like watching that
Oh,
Adamson
yeah.
team.
Said Manzano, I forgot. We forget
Cedric
about Cedric
Manzano.
Manzano.
Yes, yes. Also, Ray Allen Torres, can he step up, the former UPIS product? Of course, AP Manlapas is no longer there. Cade Flores, sorry, not Cade Flores. Aaron Flowers is no longer there too. So how will they make up for that? That's a good question.
You know,
But just
Nav,
yeah, go
Adamson
for
has
it.
the biggest, they have the biggest drop-off na pwede ah. They could be a Final Four contender to dropping
Mm-mm.
all the way to 8th. Yun yung, ganun kalaki yung,
Correct.
depende.
Kay
Diba? Saka
Jerome.
sila yung, ano eh.
That Final Four run last season was really Jerome spearheading the way. Like there were other players who stepped up. Like Lenda Duanga made that big floater in that game against LaSalle. But
Kulit
of
ng
course,
floater niya yun. Push shot sa, uh,
but Jerome really led them in that second round surge when it looked like they would be eliminated. Second round surge, rather, I should say. So let's see how they do, and how we do
okay.
as fans and
Mhm.
entertainers of the game. without him playing because
Mhm.
he will be missed. But crazy thought, it wouldn't surprise me if out of nowhere it's announced, oh, Jeremy Lastimosa will play in the first game of the season. I'm not saying that's gonna happen. I'm just saying the craziest thought I could think that might happen would be that. Although, who knows? Who really
You
knows?
feel sobrang imagine mo, 'di ba? Sino ba first game nila? UE? UE kaya first
UP.
nila?
Adamson
UP.
UP. UP. Yes, exactly.
Papahinga ko na lang yan. Imagine mo, kagulangan agad yung babantay sa'yo. Kagulangan, Cancino. Oh my goodness. Anyway, we're gonna get there. Mamaya
Raylan
na yun.
Torres. Yeah.
Raylan,
Okay.
Felicilda. Oh my goodness. Anyway, let's go to NU. You
See,
go with NU?
let's just take a quick short break and then we will be back. LaSalle fans and Animo supporters, the crown is back in Taft. Now is the best time to secure the most incredible DLSU merchandise in the market to celebrate the Lady Spikers title conquest of Season 85. Green-Blooded Championship t-shirt is something you do not want to miss out on. It comes in 3 different colors with the name of each champion spiker on the back, names that will be remembered forever. What better way to celebrate this unforgettable season? So visit Green-Blooded on Shopee now and show off your Animo spirit. Okay, we're back now and we're here to talk about the NU Bulldogs, the team that all off-season, if you've been listening to my podcast, particularly the episode I did with Nico and Diego, you know that I'm high on NU as a championship contender this season. I think they are in the conversation with UP, LaSalle, and Ateneo. I like how deep they are. Now, I should say, Kian Baclaan hasn't been playing recently. He's been recovering from a sprain. But he
Injury.
said that he will be ready for the season opener. So, if he feels he's confident enough to play in the season opener, then he probably feels like it's healing at the rate that he's okay with. But this is a deep team. You know, Don Lim and Reinhard Dumamoy coming in the guard positions, LA Casinilio. Then you add those 3 to Steve Nash, Enriquez, and Ken Baclan, and you have a legit 5-guy guard rotation for every game. And of course, Reinhard and LA are new. Don hasn't played a lot of big minutes yet before, but those are quality players. We saw that in the offseason. I like how deep they are in the wings. I like that they have Figueroa, Michael Malonzo, and then they have the big man to complement Omar John as well. Like some
Hey, let's not forget Jolo Manansalas. Legit si Jolo
yes,
Manansala.
Jolo Mananzal, the same guy who chose to go to NU over DLSU and he was being
Oh,
recruited during the pandemic. He chose NU because he wanted to get more playing time and he's getting that playing time in
tama.
NU
Oh,
and he's playing well. NU beat UP, Ateneo, and LaSalle last season. NU
crazy, no?
beat
Not
all
crazy.
those.
Not
Yes,
crazy, actually. No, it's not crazy.
they beat UP in the first round. They were the first team to beat UP last season. They were able to beat Ateneo in the second round. They also beat LaSalle in the first round. And in the final 4 against UP, that was a close game in the final few minutes until a few turnovers hurt the team and UP was able to take advantage. But then you figure now Baclan's another season older, Steve Nash is another season older, Figueroa, Malonzo, and you have all this new depth coming in their bench to help the team out. It's
Super high ako kay Reinhard. Iba talaga si Reinhard
yes,
Dumamoy, man.
crafty, bro, and he doesn't give up, hard nosed it. So it kind of makes logical sense that NU is capable of taking the next step. So the question is, can they find enough offense in late game, close game situations? Like a go-to guy on the wing, which I think they're still kind of lacking unless Figueroa takes a step. So let's see how they do, Big. But they're a contender in my book. I think
They
that if a
are.
few things break right for them, they have a good chance to win the UAP. Now, I think their margin for error is slimmer than UP, Ateneo, LaSalle because those other 3 teams have more depth. But
Yeah,
in
iba
terms
yun.
of
Iba.
capability, especially defensive discipline to control the pace of the game and win like in a hard-nosed, like ugly basketball style of game, I like NU's chances. Mark Parks also another name we should mention coming in
Yes,
this
Mark Parks.
the
Si Mark
brother
Parks
of
actually,
Bray.
like to be honest, he had games in the summer na looks like, oh, this is a solid rotation player. But there are
Yeah.
also games na he disappears. So
Yeah.
hopefully, what if you see a Mark Parks na that shows up in the games na mararamdaman mo, even in defensive end, I feel like siya yung kasi pwede mo siya lagay sa 3 eh.
Correct.
Diba?
Correct.
Pwede mo
Yeah.
siya ilagay in the 3 and I feel like he could be not to put pressure on him, the X factor, but feel ko siya yung can change the trajectory of NU eventually, hopefully. Let's
Yeah.
see.
I think so too. I like his game. I like his shooting capability. He hasn't been getting a lot of minutes yet in the offseason, at least. We
Sa
haven't
Pinoy
seen.
Liga kasi nababad din, di ba, sa atin.
Pero,
Nako-cover natin siya eh. Kaya nakita natin eh.
yeah. Pero that also speaks to the depth kasi that NU has eh.
Yeah.
'Di ba? Because they also have Palacielo, Padrones, two big guys who know how to work.
Oh yeah, si Kenshin.
And they have like just contributors who suddenly step up out of nowhere. So that's a good team. Again, will they have late game scoring that they need to beat the the teams with more depth and talent ahead of them on top? We shall find out. I'm
Feel ko si
very
Kian pa rin.
curious. Yeah, and Kian, I hope he's healthy right away to
Hopefully he's
start the
healthy
season
din, oo.
because he's really good when he's healthy. He had that big game in Phil Oil against Ateneo where he was just
Yeah, that's crazy.
dominated that game. So if he's healthy, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. I have NU making the final four.
Ako 3-4.
I have
3-4. 3-4.
yes,
Pwede sila mag-range from 3 to 4.
I have them like becoming the fourth seed and then winning one of the final four games to force a knockout game in the final four.
Oh.
And then that's when they ultimately maybe, who knows, they might have a chance to win. That's how
They
they won in 2014.
they have the shades of that team na
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
have the like alam mo yung di ka masyado maso-surprise na natalo nila yung top seed. I'm like, well, you can defend them na parang okay. Oh
Yes.
yeah. It's not like, oh, shocker. It's really like, oh yeah, mapapaganon ka na lang. Kita naman.
So University of the East is the host this season. And the last
Yeah.
time UE was the host, that's when NU won the championship for the
Oh,
first
no
time in
shit.
6 years.
Seryoso ba yan? Okay yung research mo ah. Okay yan ah. Okay yan ah.
I remember it well because that was my first season covering the UAAP men's basketball
Kaya
tournament.
memorable. You never forget your first.
Yeah,
Ika nga.
exactly. And my first in this regard is NU breaking a 60-year championship drought. So
Yeah.
all I'm going to say is this. Would it surprise me if NU's eliminated in the final four? No. Would it surprise me if they went all the way to win the championship? A small part of me would probably be like, should have not expected it, but should have thought it was definitely possible because of what they've showed
possible.
us.
Mapapaganon ka na lang.
Yeah. All right, next team. Let's
Your call.
go De La Salle. I think it's right that we go De La Salle at this point. So, most intriguing team to me because
Ako rin. For them, sila.
it wouldn't surprise me if they go 7-7 again and then they miss the final four. But it also wouldn't surprise me if you tell me they go like 12-2 or 13-1 and then win the championship. Because it's clear as day that the talent is there, the height is there, the potential is there, the coaching finally.
Players coach.
Yes, and I'm
Tyler
saying
Tio told me that Coach Topex will really play to the
is a
strengths of
player
his
coach.
players. Yeah.
Exactly. And by the way, Kevin came out on Facebook the other day, nag-comment siya on a post, love you, and then he tags Coach Topex. So, to give you an idea of how that relationship is going between player and coach, they're good, Nico. And we've seen them in the off-season. They didn't beat UP in the Phil Oil final, but before that game against UP where they didn't
Regular
shoot the ball
season.
well,
Diba?
they
They
were
beat them the season. No
dominating.
regular season.
Yeah. Now, it is concerning to me though that Deron Mitchell Jr. won't be able to continue playing for the team because of a back issue, which of course we wish him the best in his recovery. But I thought he would have been important because he would have been a floor spreader, a shooter, and that's one more area that I feel LaSalle might need, like that wing shooter, because you're going to have the floor spread with Phillips, rolling to the rim, and you're gonna have Nelly, Nonoy, you're gonna have Kiambao. If they could
Hey,
add,
Nav, can I insert Mike
yes,
Phillips is shooting threes na? Like, at least attempting. Attempting threes.
yeah.
Oh,
I
like at least the
think
confidence, di
I
ba?
think he'll attempt like 1-3 like every few games this season,
Yeah,
but
that's not impossible to see. I believe so, yeah.
But if I'm a LaSalle fan, that's the one. Kasi again, like I said, you have Nelly na, you have Nonoy, you have Kembao, and then you have Phillips. And then you have a bench for all those guys. And usually the other last spot is taken by someone like Policarpio or probably Austria or Waki Manuel. So that position, it would have been really helpful if they had a shooter, a floor spreader to kick the ball out to and be like, okay, make a big shot late in the game. And I feel like Deron Mitchell could have been that because he was an experienced college player. He played Division 1 and he was fitting in well with the team before he got injured in the offseason. In fact, he is in some of the tune-up games that Coach Topex posted on his YouTube account. But he got injured, and now I feel like they just lack one shooter. But would it surprise me again if they win, even if they don't fill that shooter spot? No, because they're talented,
Kaya.
they're big, and I'll just leave it at this for now. When I talked to Coach Topex earlier, and I was like, "So, Coach, what's the game plan, basketball schematically wise?" He kept it simple. He said 3 words: defend, rebound, run. That's what
Yeah.
they want to do.
Run.
Defend, rebound, run. So you're gonna see some crazy Evanelli stat line games where he has like 12 points, 11 assists, 8 rebounds, like 2 steals, or like 15, 8, and 7, stuff like that. And I think Phillips and Kiambao are two of the strong choices to be MVP candidates.
I just like to add as well that when I spoke to KQ, he mentioned that the leadership of Evan and the Phillips brothers was evident this year. Not saying that they weren't leaders. Last time is it more of yung everybody has a chance to speak daw this year. Sabi niya
Yes.
they're more open with their feelings with regards to basketball on and off the court. And dun parang lumabas yung leadership qualities ni Evan or mas na highlight during the summer. Na imagine mo yung sa Kadayawan Festival, he told me na nag-players meeting sila after losing to Ateneo in a preseason game.
They're
Imagine
serious,
mo
bro.
yun.
They're serious.
Parang sabi ko kay KQ, preseason game? Nag-players meeting kayo? Sabi niya, oo bro. Sabi ko, okay, I love it. Sabi ko, iba yung mentality nila this year.
Okay, Nico, I'm gonna turn on my LaSalle alumnus cap here a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna put it on here a little bit.
Go.
There are things that Coach Topex has been saying that just resonates with LaSallians. To be honest with you, he says stuff like, "I tell my players, embrace the expectations and the pressure of playing for LaSalle. Embrace the history and the culture of the name of the jersey that you wear." When they go to their practice facility, by the way, I'm not sure if you've ever been to LaSalle's Enrique Razon basketball facility in the top floor, but you can see banners, championship banners, all the way back from the 1930s in the NCAA, just hanging around the court like that. It's
Sa mga vlogs ko
there.
lang nakikita yun.
You see retired jersey names like Ritualo, Lim Engbeng, Yan Lariba, and Bachman, and Manila Santos also, diba? Her jersey was retired. And you see names, you see those championship banners, you see everything in green. There's so many aspects there in green.
Angas. Sobrang angas. I only see it in video.
Yes.
I haven't been inside. Kasi grabe yung security ng Lasal. Hindi na basta-basta magpapasok.
Which reminds me, I need to renew my alumni card. But you see all of that. And it's like telling the players, when you arrive here, you're playing for something bigger than you. You're playing for De La Salle basketball. And De La Salle basketball means something. It used to mean something more when they were competing for championships every season. But it still means something. It still means something. And it means that when you enter that court and you put on that LaSalle uniform, you're playing for something bigger than you. You're playing for the history of the school. You're playing for all the names and the players who played before you, who build up this legacy. You're playing to continue that standard of greatness. A standard of greatness which frankly has not been there in the last few seasons. And Coach Topex wants to bring it back. He tells his players, look at the jerseys. Look at the name on the jersey you're wearing. Look at the banners. You're playing for something bigger for you. Embrace that. Don't let it be pressure that destroys you. Embrace that. Let it motivate you. And I think this LaSalle team, more than the recent LaSalle teams, finally has the potential to bring back that LaSalle pride. That LaSalle pride that hasn't been there since Ben and Bala and Jeron Teng were playing for the Green Archers.
It's been a while, no? It's been a while.
It's been a while. And the return, when it finally happens, and I think it will happen this year, not saying that means championship. I'm not even saying that means finals. I'm just saying with the way that LaSalle team plays, the angas they will bring to the court, the pride they play with,
pride.
the fact that you're a green archer, that means something. And I think we're
Lumabas yung
gonna
pagkalasal
finally
mo dun, ah.
I think we're
Lumabas yung
finally
pagkalasal dun, ah.
I think we're gonna finally see it again this season, and it has been too damn long. And now the floor is yours. Taking off my LaSalle cap right now.
Same thoughts. I mean, it's been a while since I last felt na natatakot ako pag Lasal kalaban. I think last time naramdaman yun was Ambala and yun nga, Jeron Teng days because of iba yung angas na dala nila sa court. But I think Nav perfectly encapsulated what Lasal has been missing for a few years, and I feel like this team has it. So that's why they could either end up the first seed or the third seed, the lowest, the third. So 1 to 3 yung range ko for Lasal. Although if KQ's injured, knock on wood, kasi last time the Shawnee injury changed everything, right?
Yes.
So ngayon,
yes.
if ma-injure si KQ, only then na baka bumagsak sila to the 5th seed. Only then. But then again, who's gonna take their spot? Diba?
Yeah. And
It's gonna take a lot.
and I can tell you this, if you're a first seed, you don't want to see LaSalle as a fourth seed. You do not want to see LaSalle as a fourth seed.
No? Oh, intentionally lose by games. Kung gano'n, like, second seed na lang ako. May mga conspiracy na gano'n eh. Not saying sa UAP, but yung sa other tournaments, iniiwasan kasi nito si ganyan, iniiwasan.
One more area I will just say though, something to consider about this team is what kind of production will you get from the foreign student athlete spot?
Bright, yeah.
Bright Nuanco did improve during the offseason. We saw that body got bigger.
Lumaki rin katawan eh.
Yes, exactly. Timing is better. The timing has always been the issue with him. Sometimes he rushes when he's supposed to go slow. Sometimes he goes slow when he's supposed to go faster. But during the offseason, we saw that improve.
And let's see if it can carry over. Kita mo yung ganda ng time niya sa pag-block. Maayos yung timing niya. In the paint, at least paint defense.
And he doesn't even have to provide the same kind of production that most foreign student athletes need to give, because they have Michael Phillips to do that. Michael Phillips is essentially their foreign student athlete in terms of production. And Nuanco just has to be a capable backup big man coming in. And the fact that he might play against other backups could be helpful for him too. Right? Could be helpful for him to pull down more rebounds. And if he is improved, and that is your backup big man off the bench, you suddenly have an advantage because Phillips can play really well as your starting center.
Actually.
Right? Diba? So, let's see. Okay, I'm going to save my LaSalle prediction for when we get to the predictions at the end.
Yeah.
But next, let's go UP fight.
May predictions tayo. May predictions tayo. Oh my God.
Okay.
Okay. Sana, okay. Second one.
Let's go UP fighting Maroons.
Okay, sige.
Let's give respect to Ateneo. We should go
the defending champs.
They are the defending champs. Exactly. This is the deepest team in the UAAP. I think that goes without saying. I think they're the most athletic team in the UAAP. I think they're the longest team in the UAAP. I feel they have the most explosive potential. They're very well coached. They have leadership. They have veteran presence. They have a deep coaching staff. They have a program that has become a very top-tier program in college basketball in many ways. They have arguably the most, how would they say this the right way? I want to encapsulate everything.
Which one?
They are arguably the most, at this point, would you say they're the most talked about team? From an overall perspective?
They're the most talked about team because their fan base is really engaged.
They have the most passionate, probably.
Most passionate, really engaged. Yeah. And maganda. Maganda yung
And that's not to discredit the other fan bases, which in terms of passion, to be fair, can be matched. But I think in sudden volume now, with all the UP fans that have joined in over the last few years, you just feel their presence in the games. And this is even in the off-season, Nico. The off-season games we would call Enduran Gym, EAC, would be filled with UP fans.
Diba? Shit. Oo nga, nag-eyak. Pati si Gov nandun sa
Exactly. Exactly.
So, ginagawa ni Gov dito. Iba talaga love nila for UP basketball.
Exactly. Now, is some of that because UP is still in many ways like the new contender that suddenly has entered the picture of becoming like a UAP elite team?
They just love their team, man.
It's some of that, but it's mostly because they love their team. And they have a team that is really good. They have a team, let's just put it this way. They have a team based on what we saw from the offseason that if everything is clicking and everything is going well, they are probably the most unstoppable squad because of that athleticism, talent, depth, defense, coaching, everything.
Not much weaknesses. Not
Not
much.
not much. And you look at the roster, the return of Cancino is huge.
Oh yeah, let's not forget CJ Cancino's a fucking triple-double threat at
He,
his best, diba?
he
Before he went down.
and now he's even, I would say, a better player because he's more mature. Now, the ACL injuries have taken away some of the athleticism that we saw in his rookie season, but he's a smarter player. He's become a better three-point shooter.
Yeah, yung tres. Grabe.
And he's not
Off-season.
he's not one of those veterans that forces his shots, eh. You know what I'm saying, Nico?
Hindi
Like
nga.
there's some vets
Veterano
in
eh.
some teams that feel like they
Talino.
need to get like a bunch of shots. See, CJ is the type that sometimes he'll get 5 or 6 shots in the game, but he'll also get 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and he'll be the leader of the bench that his teammates look up to. And I was talking
CJ
to
Cancino.
I was talking to
Go
CJ
ahead.
earlier. One more name he said to remember is Aldous Torculias,
Isa
who
pa
he
yan.
thinks will be the breakout player. Aldous had that big game against San Beda in the
Remember, Pinoy Liga,
Pinoy
di ba?
Liga. Yeah,
Tayo ba yun?
exactly.
I remember talking about it with you. Basta, grabe yun. I think 26 and 12. May ganun siyang game.
On fire, like 24 and something. But definitely, and they have Malik still. He, I would say, is right now the best defensive player in the UAAP because Kwame isn't around anymore. I think Malik is the best defensive player. I think Malik is still the best passing big man in the UAAP. And Coach Gold just knows how to use Malik in so many ways. Now, of course, the loss of Tamayo and Lucero are huge. There's no understating that. But that's how you bring in guys like Sean Alter and Seven Cagate and Luis Pablo and Chico Briones and LeBron
Chico.
Lopez and
Oh,
Mark Belmonte, who we know
sobrang
is
loaded.
really good. They are.
Sobrang loaded.
Then you have Raylan Torres coming in, Ernest Felicilda coming in, JD Kagulangan is still there. Cyril Gonzalez, Terrence Forte were 2 guys who were injured during the offseason. LA Andres also 3 guys. So let's see how quickly they recover in time. But of course, again, Aldous Torculias is there also. And they're the kind of team na you can tell me, okay, they have 2 injuries in the depth position, and I'd tell you, okay, but they have the players to make up for those injuries.
Sobra.
We have a
Wala
compressed schedule in the UAAP, and sometimes because the schedule is compressed, it could lead to fatigue and injuries. So to
Yeah.
have the amount of depth they have, that I think is their biggest strength. Again, I go back to last season. Before towards the end of the season when Ateneo outplayed them, UP was on top of the standings for most of the season, right? They kept winning games. Even if they'd trail, they'd make a comeback, then they'd win a close game at the end. And I asked someone from UP, how do you guys keep winning close games? What do you think is it about your team that makes you keep winning close games? And the person I talked to who is close to the team and is what the team regularly said, it's because we have the most, not the most, but they, at that point, he said, it's because we have a lot of depth. You notice that with UP players, some of the main guys, like when Tamayo, Lucero, and all were there, in the fourth quarter, hindi pagod yung legs nila eh. Diba? They still have
Hindi nga.
energy, they still have juice because the team is so deep and Coach Goldwyn is subbing everyone in, giving them as balanced playing time as possible, that when the main guys come in for the fourth quarter, they tend to close the games out.
Yeah, I mean, not much to say about UP, man. They're also stuck next year. Kaya parang
Exactly.
ano eh. Oh, actually, stop. Si Yudodo, sinasabi ko pa Pinoy Liga pa lang na may mga patis-tis ka na now. It's kind of official. He was there in the press con, right?
He's with UP.
Yung
No, he wasn't at the press
wala ba
con,
siya
but
doon?
he is with UP now, though.
Yeah,
He is
he's
with
with UP
UP.
now. So, galing nun. Galing rin ni Yudodo.
And then they
I
have
mean,
Javion Coleman, they're gonna have 3 foreign student athlete
have you
options
seen
to
how
choose from.
Coleman is? Have you seen how he is? Like,
No,
can he dominate like an Embala? Or you can't say for
he
now.
just arrived in the Philippines, so
So,
he's
wala pa
still
time.
raw. So we'll have to see how he develops. And they have one more foreign student athlete option coming in. So they will have 3 to possibly choose from as a successor to Malik next season. But for this season, they're loaded, Nico. Loaded. They're really loaded. And I feel like any game they play in, they will be in the contest late in the game because of how loaded they are. And they're not the kind of team that you will just blow out completely.
And I mean, UP, ano eh, tawag dito, they tend to have more close games than expected. Ito, challenge yung sarili nyo. Di ba last year ganun din? Dami na ng close games bakit close tong laro na to? I think you know what I'm talking about. They have those kind of games last year. And I feel like we're still gonna get that this year considering na yung how Coach Go might want to use his roster and try to not experiment, but more of see which fits and all. But that's what I want. Close games and just close games in general. Mga cardiac games.
Cardiac. I think Chico Briones is gonna have a big season.
Pwede.
He can shoot, he can drive, he can create for
6'6".
others, and he can defend. He can move his feet for 6'6". He can defend other players. Yun din sa hindi lang magaling yung players nila, ang hahabat ng players nila eh.
Mahaba.
6'4", 6'5", 6'6", and all that. If you miss like 5 or 6 straight shots and you allow UP to like get out on the break, it's super dangerous because ang haba.
Delix. Ang haba. Unpopular opinion, I want to start Mark Belmonte.
I think he might.
Diba?
It wouldn't surprise me. Oo.
Pwede, right? He meshes with your starter, Malik, Belmonte, Lopez, Briones, Kagulangan. That's a cool lineup right there, di ba?
Think of the different lineup options they can
Dami.
use.
They could have a different starting 5 per game. And they won't miss a beat. That's scary as fuck.
They're good. We'll leave it at that. Okay, predictions.
By the way,
go for it.
I just love the color maroon. I'm not cheering for UP or anything. I just love the color maroon. I told Nav about that from before pa na wardrobe ko maraming maroon. Not to support any school. FYI lang.
Does your wife like the color on you? That's why you wear it a lot also.
No. She likes pink.
Wait. It's salmon, according to Ross Geller. It's salmon. Oh, wait.
Salmon.
Don't tell me you've never watched Friends.
First season lang.
Okay, this is a conversation for another day. But we are revisiting this conversation. Okay. Before we move on to the last team, let's take another break. Attention, sports enthusiasts and loyal Ateneo fans. The peak of excitement may have settled after the UAAP season, but your support for Team Ateneo should never waver. Show your unwavering spirit by proudly donning your favorite Get Blued merchandise. We have amazing news for you. You can now find the most extensive selection of authentic Ateneo gear at both Shopee Mall and Laz Mall. Gear up and embrace the blue and white pride with Get Blued's top-notch apparel. And remember, always buy original. Okay, we are back now. Now, I'm still recovering from the fact that Nico told me he has only watched the first season of Friends. That Nico, man,
after you up.
Yes, you need to. For Christmas break this season, don't go on any holiday. Just sit your ass on your couch and watch Friends. Watch Seinfeld also as well. And
after UAP finals.
Everything, yes. Which, by the way, I hear will probably end earlier this year than it did last year. Thankfully. So, Ateneo. Nico, I'll let you go first. What are your thoughts about the defending champions?
Okay, Ateneo. I think the biggest question here, the biggest elephant in the room is the loss of Fortsky Padrigao. Because that's a tall-ass point guard who knows Coach Tab's system and he contributes in all aspects of the game. He can shoot, he can rebound, assist, steals. There's a reason why he was second in MVP voting last year. So that's one big hole. It's a matter of for sure it's gonna be a point guard by committee for Ateneo, but at least in the other spots they have that covered. But ang laki kasi ng having a floor general who knows the system by heart, who can keep his guys in line. And let's not forget that Ateneo's is gonna lose Ange, arguably the best FSA in history. Dave, BJ, fourth. Am I missing anyone from last year?
Cornelius?
At least they are the. Well, yeah, si Inan was
LeBron Lopez.
Champion. Ikaw yun hindi ako yun Ikaw yun hindi ako nagsabi nun. Anyway, that's a lot of points.
I need more
missing.
wine.
That's you need less. You need less of that. So, ang daming mawawala. The point production can be covered by Kai Balungay, can be covered by Chris Kuhn. It's gonna be by committee pagdating sa points. Mason Amos, Obasa. It's wala ka makikitang scorer this year. Actually, it's just gonna be Kai. I feel like Kai's gonna be that
Oh,
guy.
he's going to be in MVP
He's going to be that
conversations.
guy. He's gonna be that guy. But for me, pag yung point guard, you lose a caliber of Fortsky, mahirap. So, it depends eh. It depends. I have to see the first few games to see like yung confidence level ko if where Ateneo can end up. Can they be the first seed or can they drop to the third?
Right, right. I will
So yun,
say
yun yung
this.
concerns ko.
And by the way, all your concerns are very reasonable
Yeah.
because they're legit concerns. I will say this. If Ateneo wins the championship season 86, I think it will be the best coaching job that Tab Baldwin has done in
Yes.
his career.
Yes.
If they win the
Better than
championship this
the
season.
Embala years. Better than the Embala year.
And
Diba
by
they beat with Ike as their FSA?
yes, yes. I thought that was their I thought last season
Right
85
now.
was their most impressive championship. And then
Pwede.
2017 was next. But if they win 86 after
Yun na
losing
yun.
Kwame, after losing Dave, after losing BJ, after losing Fortsky, they considering the opposition they will end up facing NU, LaSalle, UP, and the
Mas
other
madami
teams
ngayon
which
eh.
have talents, no, it would be the most impressive job that Coach Tab Baldwin has done.
Yeah.
It really would because there are a lot of Phil foreigners on this Ateneo team. And we know that Phil foreigners take some time to get used to the UAP style of play. But once they do, which Coach Tab usually is able to train them into doing so, they become really good. Kai Balungay, case in point, who got better and better as the season kept progressing last year. And he was phenomenal in the game 2 win against UP in the final.
Mhm.
So, how will the other guys stand up? Or rather, stand up to the challenge? You know, because I know what I'm getting from Kai. I know what I'm getting from Kuhn. I know what I'm getting from Mason, even if he's a rookie, because he has been through a lot of battles, Gilas related even, and he's very good. What are we going to get from the rest of the guys? I think Gab Gomez will also be a solid contributor.
We know what we can get from Gab.
Gab Gomez, yes.
Kay Sean Kitevis,
Sean
we know what he's
Kitevis.
gonna bring.
He did tell me earlier that he's planning to play in time for the opener, but I believe based on the conversation you both had in your podcast also na
He's gonna try.
even if he does play, it doesn't mean he's going to be 100% there because he got injured in Davao, which was fairly recent. That was in August. That was only last month as we're recording this, right? I think
he's gonna try daw.
I think Kuhn's going to have a big year. I like the season for Kuhn.
Yeah.
I think Kai is going to have an awesome year.
Awesome year. Yeah, for sure. I agree.
I think Obasa is already one of the best foreign student athletes in the UAAP. I don't think he's as good as Malik yet. But
malayo.
But after Malik, who's the next best foreign student athlete ba? Because
sige, let's
it's not Nuanco, it's not Fatty. It's either Omar John or Obasa, in my opinion.
Omar John muna. By a
Omar
few,
John, yeah.
Ito is Omar John.
Because
Obasa's
of the
here.
experience, yes.
Malapit lang.
Yeah, so
alam mo yung sakit lang ni Obasa?
Oh, yeah.
He just doesn't want to take shots sometimes. He's under the basket.
Yes,
Ayaw niya pa tumira. I think he's thinking of the system too much. Yun yung feel ko lang But ang ganda ng touch niya. Soft touch, may shooting.
Right.
It's just that, come on, man. Shoot it. You're the tallest guy on the floor.
See, that's the thing also. Ateneo for the last few years have had an incredible anchor in Kwame, both sides of the floor. Defense and offense. And Ange, I mean, he was hitting threes at a certain point. I think he hit one in the finals. He definitely hit a few last season.
He can shoot threes now. I think last 2 years, naging reliable na.
Exactly. So, but he was such a unique weapon that, again, it's not on Obasa to replicate what Kwame did, but he needs to still be an anchor in some regard on both sides of the floor.
Yeah.
Can he protect the rim? Now, one thing Kwame did really good that Obasa is still getting used to is to know when to go for a block or when to just go for the contest. Because sometimes you block a shot, it goes outside or it lands in the wrong hands and the play keeps going on. But a lot of times, and Kwame did this very smart, he was a great shot blocker, Kwame was. And I thought he could have actually gotten more blocks than he did in his career. But he was smart enough to know when to just put his hand up and defend sometimes. And because he didn't leap the floor, he could box out someone immediately and grab the rebound. And he did that so well. And I think
Sobrang
that's an
galing.
example of the little things that Obasa needs to work on. But I think he can do it, especially with Coach Tab. He will learn how to do it. I don't think Ateneo is as deep as UP. I don't think Ateneo is as deep as LaSalle. Although we have seen promising signs from LeBron Nieto and Jared Brown. We should
Yeah,
mention
we
that.
did
Very promising.
two
But
lefties. Wait, lefty yung dalawa, di ba? Yeah, they're both
they're
lefties.
both lefty. And they have quick triggers. They can release 3-point shots quickly.
Yeah. Agree.
Exactly. I really think the loss of Fortsky is huge because he was
That's
steady at
huge.
point guard last season. But I still think they will be the best coach team in the UAAP. I think so. I think they will be the most disciplined team in the UAAP. Them and NU. Them probably because of Coach Tab's success. I would give them the edge. I think they will be the most ready team for games because of how the coaching staff prepares the squads leading up to each contest. I think Coach Tab does a great job keeping his boys' mindset focused on the present. Every press conference, every year. Like this happened in the press conference earlier. There's someone from the media who asked the coaches, who are your championship contenders? Who are you most worried about? Who do you think is the best? And every season, every press conference, Coach Tab's answer is, our focus right now is completely on insert name of first team they are facing on the schedule.
Lagi. It's
It's
para sirang plaka. Laging ganun. Laging ganun.
exactly. Yeah. You know, Buzz Lightyear, when he pages Star Command, that's like he's always constant. That's Coach Tabs' constant. His Star
Meron.
Command is focusing on the team they're facing in the moment. And he does a great job keeping his boys locked in the moment. And I feel like that is such an important quality when you're playing a game. You need to stay locked into every possession, every bounce of the ball, every second that something is going on in the court. And that mental capacity to keep that consistency is one of the most underrated qualities when it comes to determining winners in basketball. And the Ateneo Blue Eagles are very good in having that in their back pocket. So I
Agree.
think they have as good a shot as UP, as good a shot as LaSalle, as good a shot as anyone to win a championship again this season. And if they do that, like I said, Nico, I think it would be Coach Tab's best work.
If I might add, before we end this conversation for Ateneo, they played Gilas till the end. Like
Yep.
they faced the SEA Games version of the Gilas and the World Cup team of the Gilas minus Clarkson and Soto, but still, di ba? If you keep it the games close against Gilas, at one point they were even leading.
Yep.
Sinabo lang sila nung patapos na, but that's great thing to hear for an Atenean or Ateneo fan.
That's one more team that because of how good they play, how great the system is, they're never gonna like fall behind by 20 points, or even if they do get behind by like double digits, sometimes they'll find a way back in the
Hahabulin.
game because of the consistency and the discipline. So like UP, I think UP and Ateneo are the best in this quality of not letting the score reach too big of a gap that they can't come back, or even if they do trail, they always find a way to come back because of how talented and how systematic they are. And I guess that's all the teams.
Yeah, that's all the teams. Oh, I just want to add last thing. We talked about the injury to Kitevis, right?
Yeah.
That's gonna be huge first round.
Mm-mm,
Saan sila
mm-mm.
mag-end up? Because they're kind of thin in the guard spot now. If you take out Kitevis there, first
Yep.
round,
Well,
may offense tayo. It's on defense natin sa perimeter.
that's where
Wala masyado.
that's where the versatility of Kuhn comes in because he can play
Yeah,
point, right? And
pwede, yeah. But
I agree
Chris
with you. The
Kung,
first round, yeah. The first
the
round
first
is
round,
critical.
medyo critical yan. Medyo tricky yan.
And what's interesting, okay, I'm gonna try to look at their schedule now because I feel the schedule plays a huge part in this as well, especially considering injuries. So let's say that, for example, Ateneo isn't as good as Ateneo can be at because I think Kitevis will be solid right away, but then you are right also na he does have to recover from injury. So their games, they face NU first and then they face DLSU. So
Seryoso? Yun yung first two nila?
and
Nakakapagod.
now again, I'm using the schedule that I posted and has been posted around also some places, not 100% confirmed, but assuming this is the schedule that will take place, they face NU on Saturday, September 30, opening day. A few days later, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 4 days later, they face LaSalle. Now, they will have a 1 day rest advantage over LaSalle, which is playing on Sunday. So LaSalle will be on less rest days compared to Ateneo. After LaSalle, they face Adamson. Will Jerome be back by the time? I mean, that's a Final Four team from last season if Jerome is back. If not, they should be able to win that. After that, they face UE, and then they face FEU, and then they take on UST. Yes, and then
Ideal skid.
they close the first round against UP. So
Actually, it's a good skid.
even if they go 1-1, they can go 2-0. But even if they go 1-1 in those first two games against NU LaSalle, they should be able to win the next 3 games.
Next 3 pala.
Next 4, actually. You're right.
Next 4 ba? 4 ata yun ah. FEU.
Yeah, 4.
Yeah.
Adamson, FEU, UE, UST.
UST. Kaya.
They should be able to win those. So if they go 1-1 and then they win the next 4, they're 5-1 entering that big matchup against UP to end the first round. Suddenly, if they win the game, they're 6-1 entering the second round. If they lose that game, they're 5-2. They were also 5-2 after the first round last season. Entering the second round, they won the championship as a first seed.
Not gonna lie, kahit 4-3 sila, okay lang sila eh.
Yeah,
okay lang. Feel ko okay sila. Like, kahit basta they don't fall below 500, I'd rather rest Sean for the whole first round, man.
Get him completely healthy, you know?
Oh, I'm at that side na, if you notice, same thoughts with Jerome, di ba? Consistent ako. Rest them when you can. Ilagay na lang sila pag kaya na talaga. If 90%, dun mo lang ibalik, sige. Kasi I hate aggravating injuries.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now,
anyway, yeah.
Before we get to some of our predictions here, I want to shout out Varsity Lifestyle Co. for being the official clothing line of the UAAP. That was announced on Wednesday. Congratulations to our friend Kirk, the founder of Get Blued, now
Congrats.
doing merchandise for all UAP schools. Yes, all 8. The initial line of Varsity Lifestyle will include shirts, jackets, sweatshirts, hoodies, lanyards, baller bands, sticker sets, and there are more to come, according to Kirk. Katulad ng sinabi mo, Nico, maybe Kirk will put Remo Goat on a t-shirt.
Yeah, I
for the
feel like
UE
those are
fans.
gonna sell, like monikers.
Right. Who knows?
Dami yan.
Maybe there will be a Legends line down, a UAP Legends line down the stretch. Who knows? But of course, they have started, and the website is up and running already. So if you guys want to purchase UAP merchandise, go check out that website, which is varsitylifestyleco.com. Now, let's get to the predictions here, Nico.
Oh, before that, I just want to add, if he makes like a legacy shirt of Lim Eng Beng, bibilin ko yung Lim Eng Beng. Di ba yung pag-cheer sa kanya before?
Yes.
Yung exclamation point, Lim Eng Beng. Bibilin ko yun. Kahit di ako taga-Lasal, ang angas lang kasi.
Nico, if I'm not mistaken, Nico, you have a unique code with Varsity Lifestyle that interested purchasers could use a I believe it's a 10% off discount if they use the code VLC, that stands for Varsity Lifestyle Co. VLC, and then Nico's unique code is VLC Loverboy.
Yeah.
So when you
sabi na sabi. Nico, guys, come on, use the discount, use the right code VLC Nico. Kamakinig kayo, Nav. Ano yan? 100% all proceeds go to him pag ginamit niyo yun. So, walang kikitain si Kirk doon.
No. VLC Nico. That unique code will be up and running by this week, Thursday or Friday. So when you are all looking to purchase your UAP gear and you are thinking of your favorite lover boy, Nico Rocha, use VLC Nico in your unique code section of the website. Okay, so predictions time. Give me let's not do the 5 to 8 because I think that can interchange.
Yeah.
Give me your final 4, give me your finals, give me your champion.
In order? Kailangan ba in order? Pwede bang...
You know what? Actually, let's do the individual awards first. Let's do that.
Individual
right?
awards.
Yeah. Okay. So, now, we're not gonna use stuff like maasahan bankable player of the year.
Masabi. Sponsor muna nila tayo bago
We'll-
natin gawin yun.
we'll leave that up to the actual awarding ceremony. So what we will do is use actual awards. Now take note, there is a statistical formula to determine this, so we have to take that into account. But we will also use awards that they hand out in the PBA and NBA, like who would be our defensive player of the year, who would be our most improved player of the year. They used to hand these in the UAAP. I'm not sure when was the last time
Oh,
they
let's
had
let's
this.
bring it back here.
Yeah. Okay, so rookie of the year, bro. Give me your just give me your winner na lang.
Francis Lopez, Rookie of the Year.
Would he be? I'm not sure if he'd be eligible for rookie of the
Hindi
year.
siya eligible?
I'd have to double check that.
Oh, okay. If he's not eligible, ano na lang?
Because the rule is, if I'm not mistaken, you have to be straight out of high school, a true freshman,
Really?
to win rookie of the year.
Okay.
Yes.
Reinhard. Ay, wait. Reinhard. Pwede. Reinhard Umamoy. Actually, for me. If he gets 20 minutes per game, if he gets it, I think kaya eh.
Kaya. I think madami siyang kalaban lang in that position. Not kalaban, but kakampi rather, teammate. And they're gonna spread.
Kaya
But
sabi ko at least 20
possible.
minutes per game. Kasi ito I think defense ko. He racks up a lot of statistical points.
Yes,
points,
he does.
rebounds, assists, he steals, efficient numbers. Yun yung nakita ko sa summer tournaments. That's why Reinhard for me.
And like each win is 15 points, bonus points in
Oh,
the
yun,
statistical
yeah.
race. So NU will
Yeah.
probably win a lot of games. And that could help Reinhardt. That could also help someone like LeBron Nieto if he plays really well. Or Policarpio if he really stands out.
Yeah. They're right there. They're in the conversation.
Who knows?
For sure.
Gagate, Pablo, I mean, those two guys are there also. Although the playing
mahirap
time,
talaga.
mahirap
Talaga.
playing. I think SJ Moore, because I feel he's going to get the most playing time. He's going to get the most touches. I think SJ.
Good one. Yeah.
SJ Moore wins Rookie of the Year. Okay, let's
Very
go.
very possible with that one. Yeah, SJ Moore.
I'm not sure if they'd actually hand this, but Defensive Player of the Year.
Defensive Player of the Year. Let me check my list. I have a list of teams here kasi para hindi ako mamumukha. Sino ba pwede for defense, no? Malik. Diba? Steals at blocks pa lang eh.
And rim defense. Rim protection.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean.
Para Malik, may wins pa. Add in the wins. So
Good
if that
choice.
helps.
Yeah.
Easy,
I would,
diba? Ikaw rin.
I think Malik, yeah. I would say Malik. Great choice.
Is it Malik or Malik? Any. Can be interchangeable.
I've heard people call him
Malik.
both.
Malik. Or Malik.
Anyway,
Diouf.
let's ask him. Yeah, let's ask him. Mr. Diouf. MVP na lang because he is the reigning MVP. Which leads us to the next question. Who is your league MVP this season? Mahirap, no?
Hirap din. Pwede nga si Malik eh. But let's throw a curveball. Kay Balungay.
Oh, I like that.
Why? Because so this guy shot 55% from the field last year and 44% from 3, 77% from the free throw line. Efficient numbers. I feel like dahil mas marami na siyang attempts this time, I feel like he's gonna end up with nasa 48% bababa na onte considering there's gonna be more shots. But nakita ko talaga, we saw what he did in the summer tournaments. Aakyat, all statistical production will go up. And that's my curveball pick for MVP, Kai Balunga. I won't be surprised if he wins it. And that's a King Eagle for this year. That's for me.
No, that's a good choice. Malik to go back-to-back is a very good choice. Tough.
Yeah.
Sorry, you went Kai Balungay. But
Yeah, Kai. I got
Kai is a very
You can
good
go Malik.
choice.
Yeah.
But Malik is also another very good choice.
Yeah, he could be a back-to-back candidate.
I would say Michael Phillips though.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think Michael
shit.
Phillips.
Good one. I didn't. Fuck. KQ.
Kiambao is another good option. But
yeah,
I think that's what would stop me maybe from choosing Michael, because what if Michael and KQ stats like even each other out?
Magbanggaan sila.
Diba?
Si KQ kasi may assist though.
Yes,
may tres.
yes.
the
But
better
KQ
shooting.
KQ might have more turnovers also, and turnovers are
Oh, yun din.
minus.
Oo nga pala, minus
Right.
yung
Although he
turnovers.
does do a good job taking care of the ball. You
No,
know,
but
I think I'm gonna
madalas
go.
usage niya. Taas.
I think I'm gonna go Michael just because I
Michael.
envision
Okay.
him having like these 18.14 rebound, 4 block games, and those are going
Yeah.
to pile up, pile up.
The
And I think
70% from the field.
yeah, and Evan actually would have been a mythical 5 player last season, but did not win
Suspend
because
lang ata.
yeah, the suspension. And that's with LaSalle not winning a lot of games and getting a lot of bonus points. So who knows? Evan might be a kind of like how
Evans a dark
Portsky was
horse.
last season as the runner up.
Yeah.
But I think I'm gonna go Michael here. I think Michael is going to win from the statistical categories. Okay, random award. Most improved player of the year.
Most improved player of the year. I need to go through the list again. Um, most improved. Sino kaya? Mahirap to, Nav. Not gonna lie, it's a hard one.
I have my
Alarcon?
answer.
Alarcon? You think Harold has
Oh
another
my, that was another name we did not mention sa UP. Can you believe it?
ano?
Nung pinapag-usapan natin ng UP, we didn't even bring up Alarcon.
Oh, ano? Oh, dito.
Oh, jeez. Okay, I would choose Remogat, and this is kind of cheating because
Oh yeah, fuck. No way. Sino nga pala? You
because
beat me there. Yeah.
technically we know how good he is because of how well he played towards the end of last season. But then if you take his stats into last season into consideration and compare to what his stats would be now, he would probably, win the award if it's a statistical based kind of argument. But
Yeah.
then
Noy
no, yeah.
definitely most improved. Yeah. 4 points pa lang a game ata last year. So
That's
yeah,
that's gonna go up.
Noy.
I
Mm.
would tell you to bet your mortgage. That's going to go up. The 4 points
Uy!
again. Okay, let's move on to the final four predictions. Let's
Mm.
go. You
In
go.
particular order,
Yeah, you go first. Yeah.
Are we gonna crucify ourselves to memes?
We are going to be the subject of
Oh, oy.
humiliation and embarrassment in a few
Shit.
months. But why do we do it? I do not know, but we do it because
Oh, sige.
what else are we gonna do,
Okay.
right?
Okay. Fuck. 4 NU. 3 Lasal.
Mm.
2 Ateneo. 1 UP.
Ooh, okay, okay. Okay, my four. I also think NU four.
Yeah.
I think LaSalle Ateneo tied at 2 and 3. And take
Oh,
note
pick
when there's
one.
a
Pick one.
no,
Pick
no, no, no.
one.
Wait, my reason for that is, diba, if there's a 2 and 3 tie, nagiging best of 3 yung final four nila. Virtual
Hindi ba
best of
quotient?
3.
Hindi ba quotient system? Hindi
Hindi.
ba? It's
Quotient is only
iba.
for 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So if 2
Ah.
and 3 are tied, first game is to determine who gets the twice to beat. And then it's a final four. But technically, it's like a best of 3 series. Because it
Oh,
becomes the
okay.
first to win. So I think LaSalle and Ateneo will tie and then have like a virtual best of
O
3 series.
sino? O sino nga after? O sabihin natin nag-play out 'yun. Sino sa tingin mo?
Oh, who would get the twice to beat?
No, third seed muna. We'll get the third seed.
Yeah, so who would get 2 or 3 between 2 and 3 if mag-tie
Oh.
sila?
Oh.
I think Ateneo would get 2.
Oh.
I
Ateneo
have to
2. Okay.
I have to give,
So
but
identical tayo. Identical tayo
yes,
ng final
but I
four.
still think it's going to be like a best of 3 kind of.
So
Ang
in that
hirap eh.
scenario, sa tingin mo magano mangyayari? Magta-tie record.
Actually, yeah, I think magta-tie record.
Okay.
Okay, you know what? I think I'll answer that question properly when we do our predictions later for the finals. But my number one is UP also. I think it wouldn't even surprise me if mag-tie yung UP Ateneo LaSalle, then quotient na lang will determine who gets one. But then if I had to guess, right, if you held my feet on top of the fire right now and made me predict, I would say UP 1, Ateneo 2, LaSalle 3, and U 4. Now, okay, who makes the finals for you and who wins the championship?
Ah. Wait. I have to make sure mag-meet muna sila sa finals kasi baka biglang ma-eliminate na. It's 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3, no?
Yes.
So UP Ateneo for me. It's Ateneo to get the back-to-back.
So you are going Ateneo back to back.
Ateneo back-to-back kasi oh man, sometimes logic goes out the window here na eh. Alam mo
Oh,
yung dahil they're the underdog, kaya iba yung trato nila sa finals.
so
Then
you're
again, UP has that like, you beat us last year. So may gano'n din silang mentality, di ba? Pero kasi itong Ateneo team na to is like, you guys counted us out. You guys counted us out when Fortsky left the school. You counted us out because ang daming nawala. So may gano'n silang mentality ngayon eh. They have that dog mentality as well eh. But I feel like it's gonna be like last year. It's gonna go to game 3 with one basket separating both teams. Mga 2 points, 1 to 2 points lang yan.
Imagine if we get a finals like that again. Wow.
I want. Yung game 3 last time was in a way tambakan na eh. Hinabol lang, 'di ba? Hinabol ng third and fourth eh. Tapos
Ateneo was
tambak yan eh.
in control start to finish game 3.
Tapos nagka wild fourth quarter lang talaga na even though Alarcon hit that 3, you can sense that the crown was going back to Ateneo eh.
It was
there.
That crown, I don't think people talk about it enough. UP had one hand in that crown because after game 1, they played very well. They were in control of that game 1. And then Ateneo snatched it. Ateneo snatched victory, and it was still one of the most impressive things I've seen them do.
Yun nga, kaya Kitevis was the magic bull.
He was the game changer. Yung
Series
defense niyo in Kagulangan was really special defensive stuff that Sean did. And credit him for that. Yeah.
I'm just not saying this na I'm friends with him. I'm saying this na even though na sabihin natin magkaaway kami, I'm still gonna give him his flowers. You really changed the series. Okay. So yeah, that's me. Is it the same with you?
I am going to get criticized for this.
But UP Lasal?
I think it's UP Lasal in the finals.
Oh, pwede din.
I think it's UP Lasal. I feel like I've said that prediction so long now. But
who wins the chip though?
Ooh.
I put you on the spot. Pili ka na lang.
Ooh.
Tawa siya. That's the laugh on. I need more wine.
I need a whole bottle at this point. I think UP wins. I think UP wins.
In 3 or 2?
In 3. I think the depth of UP is very important in college basketball. And I feel like UP has a lot of depth, and they have veteran experience, championship experience. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I think it's going to be very tough. And I think it's 100% possible that Ateneo wins, that LaSalle wins, that even NU wins. But I think UP will win the championship.
Yeah. I mean, wala akong sabi. I mean, pwede. I mean, it's not impossible din naman eh.
Yeah, for sure. And I know people will think, some, not all, some people might think that I'm making that prediction because of the sources I have at UP, that I report a lot of UP stuff. But I'm making this prediction based on what we saw in the off season. Now, they didn't win Pinoy Liga, but they did win Phil Oil, and they looked dominant in that finals game. They have that ability to turn on a switch defensively, and ang haba nila, I can't stress that enough. Ang daming players nila na are just big and huge.
Oh, wingspan eh. Lalaki
yeah. And I think the teams will make them work really hard, but I think they win.
Okay. Hey, any chance UP goes undefeated?
No, I don't think that happens.
You don't think so?
In fact, I think they could lose.
Are we gonna see an undefeated record for any of the finals?
No.
All right.
The top 4 teams are too good for that to happen, in my opinion. Because if you're like, for example, let's say you're UP and you're gonna face Ateneo twice, you're gonna face LaSalle twice, you're gonna face NU twice. Those are 6 games. You'd have to go 6-0 against those 3 teams to go undefeated. And that's not yet even considering that one of Adamson, UST, UEFE might get really hot from 3-point range in one of those 8 games. I don't think it's gonna happen.
Although, Nav, kapag undefeated ka rin sa regular season, meron na rin curse na if you go undefeated, you lose the finals. I don't remember the last time a
Don't
team.
tell Ateneo that. They went undefeated, remember, a few years ago?
Oh yeah. But I'm think
2019.
parang sila nga yung outlier eh. Kasi di ba, all the teams before them that went undefeated lost in the finals. Save for the Ateneo, it's a special 30 team yun eh.
That was such a special
Nieto Bros.
team.
Yeah, that was a special team. I forgot about that team considering how I mean this in the best possible way. How they made the UAP boring during that time. Kasi sorry, Ateneo.
I remember after Renzo Subido hit the 3-pointer for UST against UP to win the final four. I was like, that was practically like the finals of the league na that UST win. Because Ateneo was just ready to destroy whoever was going to
They
make
destroyed
the final.
UST, yeah.
They destroyed everyone.
Everyone.
And they did not hold back that season. They made history and
they made it boring.
And we mean that in the most respectful way
possible.
Most respectful way possible.
Mm-mm.
Okay. So me and Nico are going to introduce a new concept in this podcast. Now
to cap off our
to cap
recording.
off and to go a little bit away from the usual topics, sports centered, in this case UAP. And we're going to share life stories. Real life stories. Could be funny, could be dumb, could be stupid, could be serious, could be sad, could be happy. I think I said happy already. Could be confusing, like I was just there for a second. Could be anything and everything under the sun. Kind of like, how you have a cool down after a workout, or you drink a bunch of water after drinking booze. I sound like an alcoholic. Or you have cocoa Ichibanya after playing basketball. A cool down. Chill, stretching.
Coco after basketball, that's eating
Katsu
all
curry,
the calories
bro.
back. Oh.
Bro, no.
Sarap.
Ang sarap. Ang sarap masyado. Okay.
Mabuwas, I might go.
Oh, see, I got you into it. I might go also. You go first, Nico. What is your life story? Not your whole life story, but your
Ano naman, it's more
life,
of lately this week I've been just looking at. So I'm leaving for Japan October 30 to November 4.
Ooh,
so
okay.
that's mga 6 days of UAAP or ano ba yun? Finals ba nun? Di pa.
Di pa. October 30 to November 4 is around the start of the second round.
I love it. I'm not missing much. Anyway, yun. So it's a matter of I've been thinking of should I do more mga food trips in Japan, or should we do more mga attractions? So yun yung yung what I'm trying to do. This is kind of hard to pick considering that you need to have the approval of your wife.
Yes.
Alam mo yung hindi ka makagalaw?
Yes.
Kasi at the end of the day, it needs her yes, or else pag-aawayan nyo na, ba't mo pinili yan? So, bakit? Sabi mo sa akin ako pipili dahil busy ka. So, it's more of that na talagang kinukulit ko siya whenever I do something na, I know you're in surgery, but you gotta check this out. Come on, I need to book it. I tell her na, wala na masyadong tickets, wala na masyado, So, parang, yun yung this week, yung naging focus ko from last Wednesday to now. Kasi today, I just finished the booking of all our stuff. Kasi alam mo yung Team Labs, yung parang art whatever in Tokyo. So yun, naubusan talaga ng tickets there. And imagine mo, it's a month from now.
Wow.
And Team Labs, for those who don't know about, just search it. It's really nice. Those who appreciate art, digital art and everything. Not NFT, but more of yung interactive na you enter like a museum, but it's art and moving art.
Is it kind of like the Da Vinci AI like presentation in Fort? Have you seen
Parang
that?
ganon.
So you've seen it na? You've been there na? Because it was awesome when I went a few days ago.
No, I just checked online. I haven't been there, but of course I got curious and everything. I just checked it. So
less than 1K per ticket. You and your wife should go for sure.
Why not? Yeah, why not? Kasi she appreciates those kind of things naman. But yeah, it's more of a life. It's I got married no May. So yung adjustment to everything na you can't do everything on your own na.
It's a team game now. It's a team game.
Team game na ngayon. It really changes. So lahat dito na
Right.
ano na dito ko nakikita. That's why my life corner update. Na when reality hits you in the face, oh yeah, you're married. You gotta need approval of the wife first before you do anything.
Yeah. Approval, or also you could probably say not output. Uh, thought perspective.
Yeah,
My different
perspective.
perspective. Yeah.
Oo, na
Yeah.
parang okay ba 'to pinili kong oras, 'di ba?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yun, that's mine. Really quick.
Nice, nice. Well, I hope your Japan trip goes well. Japan's awesome. I'm not sure if you've
Yeah,
been, but it's
my
beautiful.
first time going during the cold season.
Oh,
Lahat
okay, okay.
lahat ng previous Japan trip ko summer, May. Kadiri, naka-shorts ako lagi, pinapawisan ako, nag-aircon kami lagi. Kasi mainit,
Right.
mainit sa Japan
Mainit.
when it's summer.
I've only been once to Osaka. My May also, summertime. And I used to wear like long sleeve button downs, and yeah, it's hot. So for me, my life update, I'm not gonna say where because I don't want to badmouth any place specifically. But
Oy,
let's
gusto
just
ko to ah.
say so let's just say my wife and I went on a little adventure recently. We decided to go for a drive to a place that's drivable from Manila, about 3 hours away. And we were supposed to go to this place where there's a river, there's a tree house, somewhere you can camp, somewhere you can bonfire, nature stuff, laid back, cool down, kind of retreat, away from
Mm.
technology, away from signal and whatnot. Not signal, the TV network, like data signal, cellular data.
Oh,
So obviously, when you go to these kind of places, you kind of expect that you are going to drive through some rough terrains to some degree, right?
okay.
Now, I brought my Montero. That's my car, a Montero Sport. So it's a relatively big car, not a huge car, not a huge car like a Jeep or like a proper
But
like pickup
pwede for rough
arrow.
terrains.
Yeah, sort of. So on the way to this place, the instructions we were told was do not use Waze, use Google Maps. So we used
Okay.
Google Maps, and while we're on the way there, suddenly Google Maps tells us, okay, take a left. And this left is like the entrance uphill to like a mountain, not like a proper mountain, but an uphill kind of spot. Okay, where so in the instructions given to us by the place we're going to, they said you are supposed to take a left somewhere where it looks like it's a rough kind of terrain. That's why you
Mm.
need like a relatively big car. So we thought this was it. We turned left and we're going up, we're going up. And at first it was roads eh. Bumpy na siya kaagad as in the car was jumping a little bit but I figured, rough terrain, car can take it. And then after about like 500 meters of driving, it becomes super tight. All right.
Okay.
So it's not cement. The road's not cement. It's soil and mud. And mud because it had
Ah.
rained in the morning. And to the left, the trees and plants are hitting the windows now because it's so tight. So we're
Mm.
driving, 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 and I'm getting worried in the back of my mind. I'm like, okay, this mud is sticking to the wheel, right?
Mm.
This mud is sticking to the wheel. I just have to get this through. This is only about 3 kilometers and we'll be fine. About 1.2, 1.3 kilometers in, that's where like the nightmare begins, bro. That's where like at certain point my wheel would get stuck in the mud and literally the car would not move.
So
Car would
talaga
not
nag-aano
move.
ka sa gas.
Yes, and sobrang pinipreno ko na yung gas that in my back mirror I can see just all smoke coming out na. And then my wife, who had to exit the car to see how bad the situation was, so the mom was telling me, stop pushing the gas too much, the tire might just explode. And we're stuck like in the middle of nowhere. There's no one else here. And there are no other cars, no other people. And we're just stuck. Okay, we're able to get out. We keep driving, we get stuck again. I get out, I take out some of the mud with my hands. My shirt's dirty, shoes are dirty. Get back in the car, move, move. And just like praying at this point, we get to the finish line, we get to the exit point. About like maybe 2.5 kilometers in, we just get absolutely stuck in like one
Hindi na talaga
spot going
gumalaw.
up. Hindi na kaya. The mud is all over the wheels. Like when I'm pressing gas, the car is falling back down.
Shit.
And because there's mud in the wheels, it's going left, right, all over the place. So as it's falling down, the car is zigzagging left, right on the way down. And I keep pressing gas, trying to push it. And as I'm pressing gas, the car is going like diagonal like that before it goes back middle. And it was almost like driving an ATV, but I was driving an actual car.
Oo.
It was scary as shit. I kid you not. Just frightening stuff. So we're there, we're stressed out, we're trying to figure something out. And of course, our heads are hot at this point because of everything that's happening. So finally, I decided to get down from my car. I walk a little bit, about like 500-600 meters, and I see a bunch of people living nearby.
Okay.
Some of them are carpenters. And God bless their souls, bro. God bless their souls. Because I went down the stairs, I approached people in the house, random house. So at this point, in the back of my mind, I'm worried about other stuff also, right? And thank God they were like, okay, tutulungan ka namin. And some of the guys go up. There were about 3 guys, 2 teenage boys. They saw the situation. They said this actually happens regularly to people who are misled by
Regular.
Waze or Google Maps. So what the guy does, he opens yung tire cap ko, takes out some air from the tires so that the tires become softer. And
Yeah.
then he takes the wheel. We get in the back of the car and he drives it up, and it's still shaking, but he's able to do it because
Umaakyat.
he's done it for other people who got stuck din naman so far. God bless his soul. God bless his soul. That was like the most stressful 1 hour probably of my life ever.
Yeah,
Ever.
for sure. Mas stress rin ako sa ganun.
But that's not the end of it, pare. So
Oh,
here's the part pa. Ha. Now again, I'm just sharing the story based on facts, what happened. I'm not gonna make implications or anything like that or assumptions because I don't know what really happened. So we finally get back in proper road. The guy gives me the car keys back. I start driving. I thank him, of course, and you give something to show your gratitude, right? So I do that, and we're driving, and finally we get to this place where we were supposed to originally turn left, the right
mm,
place talaga. But it's all super rocky, and my tires are already soft because tinanggal lang hangin, right?
mm.
So I say, okay, screw it. Let's not go to this place. Our tire might get spiked or some a scratch, and then mafa-flat pa and all of that, right? So I don't enter. I park somewhere. We call the people of the place we're supposed to go to, and they're like, sige, wait there, wait about 20 to 30 minutes. We're going to send you a service to pick you up and then drop you back to your car later after done na kayo. Like, okay. So we get down from the car, and this is like mountainous areas almost. So of course, the people aren't used to seeing foreign-looking people like me,
Yeah.
right? So I go to a store, I start talking in Tagalog. Nagulat naman sila. I'm like, oh, pabili ng
Oh.
isang RC Cola. And because I needed the drink badly. Then like a few minutes later, a guy in a motorbike approaches us. Okay? A guy in a motorbike. And his motorbike is bigger than the usual motorbike, but not super big. And he's
Oh.
basically saying, si ako yung pinadala para sunduin kayo.
Okay.
And we're like, wait, this isn't a service vehicle, this is a motorbike lang. He said, hindi, kasya
What?
kayo, kasya yan. I'm like, may dala kaming bags, we have a picnic basket. Then he gets the
Oh.
picnic basket, he starts tying it in the back of his motorbike with a tali. And then he tells me to get in the back, and he says he's from the place, but he can't pronounce the place properly. And
Okay.
with the name that was given to us, of the person who would pick us up, was not his name. Pero sabi niya, hindi, kasama ko yun. Pupuntahan natin siya mamaya.
Okay.
So we're feeling very odd now, okay, bro. We're
Yeah.
feeling very odd. So I sit on his back because I'm tired at this point. I'm like, sige na nga, what the hell? But
Oh.
but I was still doubting also a little bit. But then I realized behind me, my wife wouldn't have space to sit down. So I
Yeah.
get back, I get up from the motorbike. We both look at each other and we're like, you know what? Forget it. Let's just go back to like somewhere that's like 30 minutes away, a proper restaurant where we can eat and get good food. And the guy's insistent. He's like, hindi, kaya yan, kasya kayo, subukan niyo lang. Or kung gusto niyo, mag-drive kayo sa kotse, kaya ng kotse niyo yan, sasamahan ko kayo to make sure you get to the right direction and all of that. But we're like, no. We're tired. And at this point, we were just super tired. And that's why we just
Oh.
wanted to go to a restaurant and then go home na lang. So we said, sorry, bye, and we leave. On the way to the restaurant, we texted the girl from the place we're originally supposed to go to, and we're like, please apologize to the guy in Tagalog. Please apologize to the guy in the motorbike. We decided to go home instead. Person replies, Sir, hindi po kami nagpadala ng tao sa motorbike.
Oh.
Yung papadala
Woo!
dapat namin sa inyo is a guy ng L300. Which I'm guessing, hindi
Gagi. How
namin
did he find
naabutan.
out na ano? Or
Bro,
scam kaya yun na they know na nagkaka-ano?
bro, that's what I have been thinking about. Well,
Shit.
I've stopped thinking about it because I'm just thankful that we were able to get home that day, right?
Bro, where have
And,
led you
and
guys, man?
and I don't want to make assumptions because who knows? He might have actually been working for this place and the girl we were talking to didn't know him, or his intentions might have been pure. But also in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, do I want to believe that? Because I want to believe that he's a good person. And of course, there's also a side in my mind that's like, what could have happened if we rode in the on the back of his motorbike? Right?
Parang salisi kayo. Feel ko na,
I mean,
I don't know.
it's freaky. It's kind of like, you know that feeling where you laugh about it, but then like underneath your clothes you feel
Gagawin hindi ako natatawa
goosebumps.
doon, nakakatakot yun.
I mean, I
Hindi ako
have no
natatawa.
it is scary, but I have no choice but to laugh at it because shit that happened. I mean, again,
Buti
I'm not
kumana yung ano
making
mo, stranger danger.
I know.
Wow, I'm glad you're good, man. Baka biglang may
I
malalabas
know.
sa kutsilyo na yan. Labas mo yung pera.
Bro,
Wow!
I didn't sleep properly that night, bro.
Kasi
And
you're just
maybe
overthinking it. Parang, what
I
could happen?
was. Yeah, I was. And I could have probably been overthinking it for no reason, even. Who knows? Maybe his intentions were good. But at the same time, we're human, right? So we tend to think these things. And my wife had an interesting analogy about it. She's like, if the guy didn't have good intentions, nga, let's just say in this hypothetical situation, he didn't. That's the duality of human beings in the same afternoon. We have the guy who helped us when our car was stuck in the mud. And then we have theoretically, hypothetically in this situation, a guy who might have had other intentions. Right?
Man, no, best of both worlds kayo.
I mean, one side wouldn't be the
Not,
best.
yeah.
But anyway, so when I told you today, I want to do like a life corner kind of like segment, start it up. It's because I feel like there are like crazy stories like this that stay with you. And maybe I guess it would be interesting to talk about it in a podcast. But bro, super, let's just say it's freaky.
Okay, that's how you end the podcast, man. Yun. Stay vigilant, everybody.
Stay vigilant, everybody. Stay safe. Oh, bro, you should have seen my family's face when I told them the story. In my mom's birthday dinner this past weekend, they all looked.
For sure nagago siya.
Nagalit sila. They're like, what are you doing
Nagalit.
going to places like this?
Sino ba nagharap niyan? Gagano.
And it's not like the mad as in like nakakainis na mad. It was like the tutuwa ka mad because it's obviously coming from a place of like genuine concern. And this is how they're channeling it. But yeah, bro, it's nuts.
I'm glad you're here with us.
Thank you. Let's knock on
No,
wood.
I feel like the most he could gotten from you is just money. I don't think he's gonna kill you right there. It's just
Whoops.
sana. Well, that's done. That's the last time you're going back there for sure.
Oh, for sure. If it was up to
Creepy,
my
man.
if it was up to my mom and dad, I would never leave the house ever again.
Stay in Makati.
Okay, well, Nico, that was a fun UAAP preview podcast. That was the original intention. I can't wait for the season. I'm gonna see you at the games. If you guys are listening to this pod and
I'll be
want
there
to see-
Sunday. I'll be there Sunday.
Awesome. I'll see you there. So if you guys are listeners to the pod, guys and girls, and you are at the games, do come up to Nico and I. We would be happy to hear what you have to say. If you've listened to us, any thoughts, any reactions you might have, we'd love to converse. Keep building the sports community we are a part of. Or even if you like our other stuff, like yung Ahsoka, ang ganda, bro.
Hindi ko pa napapanood.
Super worth
this
it.
week,
Super
this
worth
week,
it.
this week.
Yeah. So if you're a Star Wars or Ahsoka fan, let me know too, folks. And we'll see you at the games. Nico, thanks for joining me. Everybody, listen to Nico's
That's
podcast.
2 hours.
2 hours. Career high natin yan for podcast.
Okay.
Career high. Yes, sir.
Bilis ang oras.
Bilis. A lot of great stories. I'm sure there'll be more podcasts to come during the season. If you all enjoyed it, let us know. Leave me a rating on Spotify, The Navs Effect. Check out the 6-month podcast on YouTube and Spotify. That's Nico's podcast. He recently spoke with Sean Kitevis and Kevin Kimbao. A lot of great times coming up. Can't wait. College basketball is back, baby.
Let's go, baby.